into place, and that girder covers up the crack like a piece of weather stripping.
Open it up, Evans. We want to see for ourselves.
Well, I'll have to signal the man on the other side of the wall. You see, this whole section is wired and controlled by a photoelectric eye back there in the mine. Whenever we wanted to open the wall, all we had to do was break the beam and it swung out automatically.
Give the signal.
Good heavens. It's like a revolving stage.
When the wall is swung open like that, it looks like a curve in the tunnel.
And people drove right into the mine before they realized it.
But not you, Inspector.
Well, I threw my pencil out in time to leave a clue for you, didn't I?
Right, Inspector.
Jim, why didn't that section of wall sound hollow when they tested it?
It's too well reinforced, Fern. Look at the thickness of it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Evans, that's all. Take him to headquarters and book him, boys.
Oh, Inspector.
What is it, Jim?
Smile. Those reporters are snapping your picture.
Jim, it's thrilling to see all this traffic going through the tunnel.
Yes, Fern. It proves how much the city needed it.
Is there really a rich gold vein under the tunnel, Jim?
No, Fern. As it turned out, Burgess and Evans had already mined most of the gold in this mountain. Not that it will ever do them any good.
There's just one other thing I don't understand.
What's that, Fern?
What happened to the two men who were in that car the inspector followed into the tunnel that night? They weren't held prisoner with the inspector and commissioner.
No, because they were Burgess's own men. That spectacular dash of theirs was staged to keep the disaster stories going.
Well, come on, Jim. We'd better get back to the laboratory. I have work to do.
So have I. The inspector wants me to write his dedication speech for the new courthouse next week.
All characters, names, places, and plots used in the Avenger program are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
This is a thought. A thought. A thought. Remember, listen for another adventure of...
The Avenger.
The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies that even the G-men cannot reach. The Green Hornet. Adventure, Pink Lemonade, and Tan Bark. The events and characters depicted in this drama are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
Oh, gosh, Mr. Reed, I thought you'd never get here.
Yeah, what's the matter, Miss Benny? Having trouble in the absence of Miss Case?
Oh, no, I can handle her work all right, as long as you don't spend too much time in the office. But there's a letter here.
What's remarkable about that? We get letters every day.
But this is the rarest envelope I've ever seen. It's addressed to Mr. Britt Reed, Esquire.
Squire?
It's from way out west and has a note written in one corner on the back of the envelope.
A note?
If not delivered in 5 days, send to the cops' headquarters to be held there until I call for it.
What?
Now, who might I be?
Great Scott, give me that. There's only one man who'd write that way.
Who?
Yeah, let's see it. It is. It's from Mike Axford.
Mike Axford, you mean?
I mean the original man of action, the brother of Tim, who just left here recently.
Oh, gosh. Casey's told me plenty about him.
And he's coming back here.
He is. Boy, I'd like to see Casey's face when she hears those
Yeah,
tidings.
listen to this letter.
Dear Reed, I sort of got fed up with batting around out west here, and I figured I'd go back east to where you are. Now, I don't know if the Green Hornet is still running at large, Reed, but if he is, I'm renewing my old pledge to run the Spalpeen Earth. That's one reason for me coming back. The other reason is that having been a reporter...
Reporter? Huh.
I got it in me blood like an old fire horse. Timothy tells me that you're well, and so is Cato. If it's all right with you to take me back, I'll be there soon. Signed, Michael Axford. P.S. I won't wait to hear from you. When you get to read this, I'll be on the train.
Gosh.
Good old Axford.
You like him a lot, don't you, Mr.
No, I
Reed?
certainly do. You know, I resented him at first. You see, Dad hired him to serve as a bodyguard for me, but he wasn't supposed to let me know that. He was supposed to work in this office as an advisor to the crime reporters.
Oh?
But I found out his real purpose and then took him into my apartment to live there with me.
So he could keep a closer watch on you?
Yeah, so I know when he was sleeping and not watching.
Not bad.
I'll certainly be glad to see him.
It's too bad he'll be late for the circus.
Circus?
Yeah. Or haven't you read all the publicity about it?
Hey, I haven't seen a circus for years.
I never miss them. There's always a chance to get some good action photographs at a circus.
Axford's heart will be broken when he learns he missed. You know, he has 3 weaknesses: parades, fire runs, and circuses.
So I've heard. Gee, if this circus hadn't taken off that jinx, I might get a prize-winning shot of tragedy.
Jinx? What jinx is that, Miss Benny?
Oh, golly. When they first started out this season, they had all kinds of trouble. There was hardly a performance without a major accident of some sort.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Why, for a time, there was talk about going back into winter quarters to recheck all the equipment.
But you say this jinx has been shaken off.
I guess so. They haven't had any trouble for some time now.
I understand that circus people are a superstitious lot.
And how? Why, they're even worse than vaudeville people.
I wonder if we couldn't get a story out of that.
Story?
Yeah, for the Sunday supplement. Something about the superstitions of the sawdust ring, shaking the jinx from the turnpike.
Gee, there's a whiz-bang of an idea, Mr. Reed. Look, give me a chance at it, will you?
Right, well, Miss Benny, suppose you go to it and see what you can do. Who's going to get the collaboration on it?
Who? Oh, Ed Lowry, of course.
Lowry, huh? Have you two called a truce?
Oh, no. I still think he's a lug, and he thinks things about me. But the son of a gun can write.
Very well, Miss Benny. Suppose you go to it.
Just watch what we turn out. I'll get hold of the advance man on the phone right away and make a day to go over it with him.
Yes?
There's a Mr. Lowry from the Daily Sentinel to see you, Mr. Burns. He has an appointment.
I'll see him in a little while. Please tell him to wait.
Yes, Mr. Burns.
What'd the girl say? Lowry of the Sentinel.
Yes, Sanders, a reporter.
What time is a 24-hour man for reporters? Now, you'd better tell him you can't see him today, Burns.
The Sentinel is giving us a feature story, and they want to
Burns,
hear...
I said you better not see him. I don't care about any arguments on the subject, see? The less your show has to do with reporters, the better we like it.
Now, hold on a minute, Fenders. We've got to take orders from you up to a certain point, but publicity is money in the circus business. Now, we need money badly this year.
Sure you do. Only you ain't handling the publicity angle. I know what the Sentinel is figuring to do. They want to run a story about the jinx you shook off.
Well, what of it?
Things might come out. Lowry's pretty smart, see? He might get the idea that the jinx was something that could be licked by taking out the form of insurance my outfit handles. Now, you'd better send word out to the secretary that you can't see him.
How did you know about what Lowry came for?
Burns, you don't think we're missing any bets, do you? The girl has to report everything to us.
Is she one of your racketeering outfits?
I don't like that line of talk, Burns. You better cut it, see? Now, send word you can't talk to Lowry. Then we'll go over the books and get a line on what you pay for insurance in this town.
You confounded crook.
You should know by this time that every crack of that sort costs your outfit dough.
I wish Anderson would tell you and your whole gang where to go.
Oh, he wouldn't do that. Just think of all the things that can happen to a circus if they don't take the proper precautions. Now, phone the girl, or do you want me to?
I'll tell her.
Hello?
I won't be able to see Mr. Lowry.
Oh, you won't?
No.
Very well, Mr. Burns. I'll tell him. Mr. Burns won't be able to see you today, Mr. Lowry.
Hey, now, wait a minute, sister. I've had this appointment too long for him to stall me off. I got a story waiting for what he's to tell me.
I'm sorry. Mr. Burns can't see you.
But that doesn't make sense. Didn't you tell him I'm from the Sentinel?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't he want publicity for the circus? Why, any other time a guy like Burns would be tearing my office door off to get a write-up.
He said he
You
can't...
told me what he said.
Am I too late, Lowry? I got held up with Mr. Reed's dictation.
Burns won't see us.
What do you mean he won't?
What did I tell you, Benny?
But he's got to. We need more quotes from officials. We can't put the publicity man down for every quote we use in that story. If we wait for the show itself to get to town to land some of the other officials, it'll be too late for our story.
You heard what I said.
Where's his door?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Mr. Burns says
Listen,
he can't...
sister. They say that fools walk in where angels fear to tread. Okay, Toots, here's a fool.
You can't...
Look here, Burns. I knew you win. You can't put the high hat on when Clicker Benny is... Holy mackerel.
What's this interruption mean? Get rid of her, Burns.
I must insist
Fenders.
that you leave.
You? For the love of Pete. Fenders. Well, how long have you been out of jail?
Are you confounded? Look here, Lowry. Can't you give a man the chance to go straight?
You? Well, that's a laugh. What racket are you in now?
I'm trying to make a living, that's all. I'm handling insurance.
Insurance?
Yes, insurance. I paid up for the mistake I made. Now I'm just trying to get by. Mr. Burns will tell you that.
I'll bet it's the highest priced insurance Burns ever paid for. How about it, Burns?
Mr. Fenders has told you the truth. I know all about his past record and find him a fine gentleman in spite of it. Now, I told you, Mr. Lowry, that I couldn't talk to you. Now, will you please leave my office, or shall I call the police and have you thrown out?
Well, I'll be a so-and-so.
Come on, Clicker. We can take a hint.
Now, I hope you're satisfied.
Look here, babe. When did Mr. Fender start peddling insurance to Burns?
I don't know.
Okay, but I'll bet I could guess. Come along, Clicker. This is something the boss should hear about.
Yeah, you're just the guy to tell him.
And on top of everything else he did, Mr. Reed, this guy Fenders ran a vegetable racket on the lower market. He did his stretch and got off mighty easy by copying a plea of guilty. And now he's going straight and selling insurance. Insurance, nothing, boss. It's a protection racket. We checked back and found that he started in with Burns just about the time the Jinx was shaking off the circus.
And that means Fenders and his gang caused all those accidents. Don't you see?
Well, I'm not blind, Miss Benning.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Reed. What I mean is, Burns is scared to death of Fenders.
You think, then, that the circus is paying Fenders and his gang so they can go on with their big shows without having accidents? Accidents is a good word for it. I'd call it murder. The sort of accidents they used to have don't happen so often. Ropes breaking, animals getting loose, food being contaminated, stands breaking down, tents collapsing.
Can't we make a story of it? If we could expose that racket and slap Fenders and his gang back in jail, where they should have been put for keeps the first time, well, think of the scoop it would be.
Let's suppose there is such a racket as you two think. I'd stake a month's pay on it. Suppose there is. Suppose we make a play to expose it. Now, what would that mean? We'd only make the racketeers mad, and they might take it out on the circus people. If there's anything of that sort, the law can't do anything without a complaint. Fenders knows that. Sure he does. Burns doesn't complain because he doesn't dare to. If there's a complaint or investigation from another source, the circus folks would pay for it. No one knows how many people might be killed or injured in the tragedy that would follow.
Can Fenders get away with that ruthless sort of stuff?
Miss Binney, we aren't in the racket-smashing business. We're publishing a newspaper.
Sure.
Now, look, boss. Lowry, the Sentinel's policy is to publish the news, not make it. Oh. Now, let's get back to reporting, Lowry. And as for you, Miss Binney, I have some letters for you to get out.
After dinner in his apartment that evening, Britt Reed discussed what Lowry had told him with Cato. Cato, the young millionaire's faithful valet, was the only living person to know him as the Green Hornet.
The trouble, Cato, is that I'm dead sure Lowry's right in his suspicions.
But what can you do about it, Miss Britt?
Without a complaint, the police can't make a move.
Who will complain?
The circus people are the only ones who can complain, and they certainly won't dare.
No, sir.
If Cato, I dared take the chance.
What chance?
I wonder. Well, let me see. I'd first have to satisfy myself that Fenders was being paid for protection. Then we'd have to learn the names of the other men in Fender's gang. I could get that from some of the old copies of the Sentinel I brought home with me.
Is that what the bundle is?
Yes, I brought a few back issues from the time when Fenders and his gang were on trial. I have their names. They're probably still working with him. He hasn't been out long enough to line up new men whom he can trust.
And then what would you do?
One moment. I have the number of Fender's hotel room. Perhaps I can catch him there now.
Why you phone him?
Check a couple of points. I'll have to acquire a hoarse voice and trust to luck that the rest of the gang haven't come to town yet.
Get up.
Hello, Fenders. They paid up, or do you need some roughhouse here in town?
Who's this?
Gimp, of course.
Don't sound like it.
Yeah, I got a bad throat, that's all. I'll be okay.
I see.
Did Burns come through with the payment okay?
What about the other guys?
You mean Blinker?
Yeah, and Dolan.
Yeah, they're with me.
Okay. Everything is set. No roughhouse here. I'll see you tomorrow night and pay up.
Tomorrow night? Why not now?
I told you tomorrow night. If you come in a day early, that's your tough luck. Now, don't come near me, see?
Okay. Tomorrow night it is, then.
Meet you near the lemonade stand at the grounds, just before the show starts.
Right. So long.
Bye.
Cato, Fenders told me plenty.
He did?
I used the name Gimp. Gimp used to be his muscle man. Dolan and Blinker were two others that handled his rough stuff for him.
Yes?
They're due in town tomorrow. They're to meet Fenders at the lemonade stand at the circus tomorrow night. He's to pay them off.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Do? Cato, I'm going to blow that racket sky high. You just wait and see.
But how?
First place, watch what happens to this apartment here. Hand me that andiron from the fireplace.
Yes, sir. Here.
Now, out in the hall. This way. We'll start by smashing the lock on this door. There. Now we forced an entrance.
What's the door? You break it?
And that's not all. That desk of mine usually has cash in it. It's usually locked. Good enough. We smash that. That's it. Now, Cato, take a look at these pictures.
What pictures?
Here, this old copy of the Sentinel. This man is Fenders. Well, forget his face. Study the other three. Gimp, Dolan, and Blinker. You're going to describe those men to the police when they come here to investigate a burglary. You came in, found me knocked out on the floor. Those three men ran out of the place. The police get the description from you. I'm unconscious on the floor.
But, Mr.
Don't
Brett...
let the cops see those old papers, though. Describe the men from memory. You got that?
Yes, but you...
I get knocked out cold. Now take this and hit me.
I can't, Mr. Brett.
Found you, Cato. Go ahead, hit me. Knock me out and then telephone for the police. You've got to do it.
But I don't...
You do what you're told.
Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Brett. I'm so sorry.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Green Hornet adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. At Britt Reed's orders, Cato, the faithful valet, knocked the young publisher unconscious. Then he called the police. They hurried to the modern apartment, accompanied by Lowry of the Daily Sentinel.
There's trouble in the boss's own apartment. The thing might be big time.
That it might, Lowry.
There's his door.
This way.
Oh, hello, Cato.
Mr. Lowry.
That's Reed's valet. You know him, Doyle.
Sure I do. What's happened?
This way. Hurry. It's Mr. Brett. He's hurt.
Hey, boss. Good night. What's happened, Mr. Reed? What hit me?
Who busted in here? Look how that desk is ripped open.
I saw them.
Yeah? What they look like? Give us a description.
3 men.
3 of them, eh?
I had a good look before they ran away.
Hey, go into the other room. I got to do something for the boss. Take it easy. Here, Mr. Reed. Now take a drink of this. My head. You had a hard sock. There's a lump as big as an egg there. Burglars, police. Yeah, the cops are here, all right. Cato saw the crooks, and he's describing them to Doyle right now. Good for Cato.
I know that, lug.
What does Doyle say? He knows who crowned you. I'm all right now, Lowry. I want to speak to Doyle.
Hey, Marty. If that isn't Blinker that Cato describes, I'll eat my shirt. Skip back to headquarters and bring us the gallery shots of Blinker and the rest of his outfit.
Blinker?
Hey, I remember him. He used to work the rackets with Fenders. With Fenders, get that? The burn I told you about.
Oh, yes.
Doyle, the Sentinel played a big part in sending those rats down. This is reprisal, that's what it is.
Get those pictures, Mart.
I'm on the way, Doyle. Be right back with you.
We'll see if Cato can identify them.
Cato did identify 3 men whose pictures he was shown. The order went out to pick up Blinker, Gimp, and Dolan. Through Britt Reed's influence, the entire matter was kept from the other papers in the city, and of course no word of it appeared in the Daily Sentinel. The following morning, Fender's 3 partners took a cab from the train.
Here's the hotel.
Okay. Pile out, Gimp.
Well, look who's here. Huh? Take it easy, boys. The sergeant wants to have a little talk with you 3.
He must be. You ain't got nothing on us. We only just now got into town. Pay off your driver. We got a car waiting to take you in. Had an idea you might show up at your old favorite hotel.
What's the big idea? We're in the clear now.
Sure. Maybe you can give an alibi for last night.
We wasn't in town at all. We got an alibi. We was 200 miles from here.
Save it for the sergeant.
I thought there'd be a frame like this sooner or later.
My suspicion to 2. What's the charge?
Burglary.
Burglary? We ain't burgled any place. We never burgled in our life.
Also assault and battery. I want my lawyer.
We got a right to a mouthpiece. You can't hold us.
We'll talk that over later. Come on now, get going.
When Lowry heard of the arrest, he brought the news to Britt Reed.
It's too bad Cato's out this afternoon. They won't be able to locate him to make an identification until this evening.
Good. I'm glad to see those guys stew in jail for a while.
How long can they be held there?
24 hours at least. Cops are trying to locate Cato.
Of course, Cato may have made a mistake when he identified the pictures of them.
I doubt it.
Does Fenders know his former pals are in jail?
Not as far as I know. No way he would know, is there?
Yeah, I suppose not. It's odd, Lowry. They're just about the time you suspect Fenders of trying to run a racket in the circus, his 3 henchmen would show up in town.
They claim they just got into town 15 minutes before they were picked up.
Yeah, that being the case, they'd arrive the day of the circus. I wonder if that would be coincidence.
Not by a long shot. They're the muscle men, I tell you, boss. If the circus don't pay up, they're the guys that go to work on it, wreck things. They're the jinx.
That's pretty far-fetched, Lowry.
But it isn't.
We haven't any proof, you know.
Oh, I know. I'm getting so I hate that word, proof.
Hey, I wonder. The thought just came to me, Lowry. If we could get something more tangible, some evidence that they came to town to meet Fenders.
How could we?
I understand you've got a date to take Miss Benny to the circus tonight.
Yeah, I got hooked.
Will she be taking her camera along with her?
Sure she will. She's never without it. I'm the guy who plays second fiddle to a camera. How do you like that?
Suppose I tell Cato not to identify those men, even if they are the ones he saw.
And let them get away with the beating they gave you?
Not for a good reason. The police would let them go if Cato didn't make the identification, wouldn't they?
Sure, they wouldn't have anything to hold them on.
Very well, that being the case, if your theories are correct, they would at once go to hunt for Fenders. Isn't that logical?
Sure it is. Especially if they think they might be needed tonight.
Now then, where will Fenders be tonight?
Probably at the circus.
Then if you and Miss Benny stay close to Fenders, she might be able to get a shot at that trio contacting him.
But finding Fenders at the circus would be like a needle in a haystack.
Fenders will probably stay near Burns after the show gets underway.
Boss, you should be a reporter instead of me. You've got a way of doping things out.
Hey, what do you think of the idea?
But what if we do get pictures of Fenders with those lugs?
Go on from there and see if we can get more proof that there's an alliance and that there is a racket.
The show leaves town tomorrow.
Then, Lowry, it's up to you to get all you can tonight. You might overhear things, you know.
Boss, we'll have our eyes and ears open and Clicker's camera ready.
Britt Reed had to time things carefully that evening. He gave Cato very specific instructions, which were carried out to the letter. The 3 racketeers were released on schedule and headed for the circus lot, glad that they could keep their appointment.
Red hot! Oh, I can see one of our folks step right this way. Red hot! Step right up by the dinner.
Black Santa Trio, Snake Jobber, and a den of vicious reptiles from the heart of Abyssinia.
Pink lemonade, ladies and gentlemen, pink lemonade, made in shade. Served with a silver spade by a charming old maid. 5 cents a glass. 1/2 a dime, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies. Find your
The big show is just about to begin. Get your tickets at 4 and 9. Here we go.
Meanwhile, the circus lot was a blaze of lights. It was just before the time for the opening, and crowds jammed the sideshow, the menagerie, and the various refreshment stands. At one corner of the big lot, pink lemonade with thin slices of fruit floating on top filled huge jars on a narrow counter. The unshaded lights revealed Fenders near the stand, not far from the curb. A low, heavy machine came to a halt. Britt Reed took the biggest risk in the entire proceeding.
Fenders, come here.
He called to the racketeer.
I want to speak to you.
He was careful to keep well back in the low-slung car, so the crook couldn't see the sinister mask that concealed his face. Fenders sauntered to the machine.
Well? I have a message for you. Here, take it.
Fenders came closer and placed one foot on the running board, and then...
What the? Make a move or shout. I'll let you have it, Fenders. You're covered.
A hornet.
Open the door and get into this car. Keep your mouth shut and you'll not get hurt.
But what?
Hurry, do what you're told. You don't want to hang around here till someone gets a good look at this machine. In with you.
What do you want?
Shut that door. Now, sit tight. I'm driving around the block. You can get out of here when we pass the corner again, Fenders, if you just leave the dough on the seat beside you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The cut for the boys. Dolan, Gimp, Blinky, you know what dough I mean. Shell out.
But who?
Quick! Let you have the gas and take it from you.
Did the boys send you?
What do you think?
Where are they now?
None of your business. There's not much time left for you, Fenders. I'm either letting you out of the next corner or giving you the gas.
No, don't shoot. I'm putting the money on the seat.
That's more like it.
Tell me what the big idea is.
You'd better ask Burns.
Burns?
He won't want to talk, but I guess you've ways of making him.
Did he send you here to get this?
I'm not saying a word. You talk to Burns. Now get out.
Yeah, sure.
And thanks, Fenders. Well, that's that. The only way to get the meat to the top of the stew is to stir things up. Well, now for more story.
Lowry, I sure go for circuses.
Yeah, but a pile of it we'll see standing down here.
Are you sure those were the boss's orders?
You know what he told me. They close the burn and see what we can see and hear what we can hear.
Oh, rats. There isn't enough light here to get a good picture. Not even with a 1.9 lens.
Burns and Fenders have been talking a lot, but I haven't seen anything of those other three birds yet.
Neither have I.
Let's shove over close to them. Maybe we can get a load of what they're saying.
Suits me. But don't let them get a load of us, or we'll be shoved into the seats our tickets call for.
Either that or outside.
But get this, Lowry. Comes the acrobats, and I'm watching the show no matter what goes on.
Soft pedal. Walk backwards.
I tell you, I don't know a thing about it, Fenders. If you think I had any contact with the Green Hornet, you're crazy.
Now, look, Burns, I'm not fooling when I say you talk up or else. It ain't too late to cause a pile of trouble around here.
I can't stand here talking to you now.
Yeah, this ain't a hot place to talk. You'll go to the little tent you use for an office. Come on.
But
You've got nothing to do with the running of the show from now on. Just step along or else.
Get that, Benny?
Meaning we go alone?
And how? You heard him mention the Hornet.
An acrobat's coming up. Oh, darn.
Get this over with as soon as you can, Fenders, and get off the lot. You've been paid in full.
Save it till you're in your tent.
Right over here.
Yeah, I know.
What are you three doing here?
Hello, Fenders.
Gimp.
It's us, all right.
Dolan. Blink. What?
We was told to come to Mr. Burns' tent and wait till you come in.
Who told you that?
The guy at the lemonade stand had a note for us. How about it, Fenders? Where's the dough?
That's what I'd like to know.
What do you mean?
The Green Hornet took it.
What are you handing us?
Come across, Fenders. We want the cash we got coming.
What are these hoodlums talking about, Fenders?
None of your business. This is a personal matter.
Well,
And what do you know about the Green Hornet?
We've already thrashed that out. I don't know a thing.
What sort of a stunt you pulling on us? First we're framed for a robbery and stuck in jail. Then we're out and find we don't get paid off.
We get our dough or else.
Listen, Burns, get this straight. It's from us three to you. Fenders ain't nothing but the front man. We're the guys that can give you the real protection. You pay us direct, see?
You're the ones who do the damage if we don't pay up?
Now you got it straight. We don't need Fenders no more.
Stop talking yourself into jail, you confounded fool.
Keep out of this, Fenders.
I won't.
I'll keep you out there.
Wait a minute.
Stop this roughhouse.
That'll hold you. Now, Burns, your show is going on. I don't know if you paid your insurance for this performance or not, but if you did, you'll have to get a refund from Fenders when he comes to. You're paying us, see?
I'm not paying out another dime. It's clear that you three represent the entire organization.
Hey, wait!
Hey, Rube!
What the heck?
That's the shout that brings the whole gang.
Stand where you are. I'm on.
And I'm with you, Burns.
Hold it.
What in...
The camera!
I got you.
What is it, boss? What's up, Mr. Burns? What's up? Who are these guys?
Take them all in, boys. They've been running an extortion racket.
Wait a second.
They admitted damaging our show.
Now, look, let's talk it over.
We were outside, Burns. We can testify for you.
We've been paying for protection. Fenders didn't let me know who his gangsters were, but this was all of it.
Let me out of here.
I ain't staying to go back to jail.
Oh, yes, you are, Gimp. Take him to jail.
Lowry, I'll see you later. It's pink lemonade and tan bark for me.
Cato, I have the names of some people who were injured when Fender's gang tried to wreck the show.
Yes, Mr. Biff.
Well, divide this cash we took from Fender's and send it to them.
Very well.
You take care of the details, Cato. Just send the cash to them. There's no use telling them it comes from the Green Hornet.
Extortion racket exposed. Circus Jinx explained. Read all about the Green Hornet. Hornet gets away with cash. Green Hornet still alive. Just
Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel. Today's episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is entitled Saved by a Hair. In all large cities, and even in smaller communities, there are unfortunates who are trying to live down a single misstep. Having served time in jail for some crime, generally a first offense, they have been paroled, released from jail with part of their sentence unserved, given a chance to try again to make useful citizens of themselves. Parolees, they are called. One misstep while on parole, and they may be returned to jail to serve out the full term of the sentence. Clever but heartless underworld characters have found the parolee a source of illicit income, and as a result, a widespread system of blackmail has sprung up. As our story opens, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who in reality is the Blue Beetle, is discussing the matter with his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz.
You see, Doc, a fellow's up against it when these underworld vultures begin to hover over him.
Why, how do you mean, Danny?
Well, let's take the case of Jim Horton. He got mixed up with a bunch of young hoodlums in the neighborhood where he lived and got caught one night running away from the scene of a store robbery.
Was he one of the robbers?
He claimed not, but the court found him guilty and got 5 years.
Oh, yes, I remember the case now.
Well, some friends and the parish priest got up a petition and presented it to the parole board. As a result, he was paroled with 4 years yet to serve.
And what happened?
His friends got him a pretty good job. But as soon as he got to work, the underworld got busy and tried to persuade him to come in with them and make some real money. Told him he'd never succeed honestly because of his prison record.
Did he go in with them?
No, he refused. Said he preferred to go straight.
Wise decision.
Ordinarily, yes. But the gang wouldn't let him go straight. They wanted him to give them inside information about the place where he worked. They threatened to frame him and have his parole canceled so he'd be sent back to jail.
But what can those gangsters hope to gain by such tactics?
A recruit for their campaign of crime, inside information about the place where the parolee works, power over first offenders and so forth.
And where is Horton now?
Back in jail on a charge of robbery with a gun. Framed evidence, I'm certain.
Do you consider the case big enough to enlist the services of the Blue Beetle?
Any case that affects the welfare of the unfortunate is big enough to interest the Blue Beetle.
And what are you going to do?
I promised Mike Manigan I'd help him investigate this case. Jim Horton's father was a pal of Mike's before he died, and Mike is interested in helping Jim.
I see. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, Danny, you know I'll be glad to do it.
Oh, thanks, Doc. Well, I'll see you later. I'm going to meet Manigan down at police headquarters.
Will you be back later to change into your Blue Beetle chain armor and mask if anything develops?
I've got it all here in this briefcase so I can make a quick change on the job.
Well, be careful, Danny boy.
I
Be
will,
careful.
Doc. So long. Where are you heading for, Mike?
The old Empire warehouses on Dock Street.
What's down there?
And I got a mysterious phone call from Joe Riley to meet him down there. He's been working on the Helen Downey kidnapping case.
Oh, yes. She's the daughter of the parole commissioner, isn't she?
That's right.
What's he found?
And he didn't say. He just told me to meet him in front of the... Hey! Hey, look at that car coming. Say, here's where we make a pinch for speeding.
Look out, Mike. Machine guns.
Wait, what the...
Manigan, somebody fell or was pushed out of that speeding car. Pull over to the curb, Mike.
Yeah. And them guys were shooting at us.
Did they get you, Mike?
No. How about you, Danny?
Not a scratch, but it was close.
You hop out and take a look at the body, Danny, while I see if I can trail that other car.
Never mind that car now, Mike. I've got the license number. Go phone for an ambulance while I look at this poor fellow.
Okay. I'll be back in a minute. There's a drugstore on the corner.
It's Joe. Joe Riley, bound and... Joe. Joe Riley. Can you hear me? It's Dan Garrett.
Hello, Dan.
Hello, Joe.
Dan, tell Manigan they made me phone him.
Who made you phone?
The Mulberry Hill gang. They've got the girl in the...
Hey, Joe. Joe? Where have they got the girl? He's dead.
Who is it, Danny? The ambulance will be right. Hey, that's Joe Riley.
It was Joe Riley.
Dead?
Yes.
Who done it, did he say?
Yes, the Mulberry Hill gang.
That's the gang that hangs out in Gus Heinrich's bar and grill.
What's the matter, officer? Oh, drunk. And a cop at that.
He ain't drunk.
He's been shot.
Shot? Say, I thought I heard some shots a while back.
Is he? Here comes the ambulance, Mike. Stand back there, mister. Give him all the air he can get.
Well, then he ain't dead.
He's hurt badly.
Hey, what's the matter? Somebody hurt, I guess.
Yeah, looks like a cop.
Yeah, stand back now, all of you. Make way there. Over here with that stretcher.
Easy with him, boys. He's pretty weak from loss of blood.
But, Dan, I thought you said...
Don't let on, Mike. We may be able to learn more if the gang thinks Riley's still alive.
What's yours, buddy?
Ginger ale.
And what?
And nothing. Just plain ginger ale.
Dan Garrett's a policeman, Ed. Policemen don't drink.
Oh, yeah? Since when?
Hello, Drummond.
I see you're in civilian clothes, Garrett. Is this your night off?
No, it's my uniform's night off.
Clever guy, Garrett. You should be on the radio.
You think so?
Yes. Oh, say, I hear Joe Riley in your precinct got bumped off tonight.
Your information must have come from the wrong source. Riley's still alive, and he's talking.
Really? Well, it's nice to have seen you. I'll be getting along.
By the way, Drummond.
Yeah?
How do you keep your hair so black and glossy? You're no spring chicken.
It's a special diet I have.
Uh-huh. Spelled D-Y-E-I-T, huh?
Oh, boy, you sure are quick on the pickup. You're in the wrong business.
Not for the kind of pickups I like to make.
Well, if you pick up the culprits who shot Riley, recommend me as their lawyer.
Anytime a crook needs a lawyer, you usually get the business, Drummond. If the price is right.
Hello? Yeah, this is Heinrichs. Oh, hello, Drummond. What's that? Riley ain't dead. What? Dan Garrett, the cop? Oh, sure I will. I'll get some of the boys down there right away, and we'll take the girl to a new hideout. Sure, right away. Blue Beetle.
Yes, the Blue Beetle.
What do you want? I ain't hiring no entertainers for my cafe.
Whom do you hire to do your kidnapping?
What? Oh, so Joe Riley...
Talk plenty. And so did you over that phone just now.
I don't know nothing.
You'd better learn something mighty quick. The Blue Beetle doesn't waste time.
You got nothing on me. I am a respectable cafe owner.
Come out from behind that desk, Heinrichs, before I blast you with my magic ray.
Now, take it easy, Blue Beetle. I don't know nothing about Joe Riley.
Where have you hidden Commissioner Downey's daughter?
I don't know nothing.
Come on, speak up before I tear you apart. Who shot Riley and kidnapped Helen Downey?
I don't know nothing.
Get up or I'll give you some more of the same.
I can't tell you. The big boss would kill me.
Come on, get up on your feet. You're going to tell me what I want to know.
What's the matter, Gus? Say, it's the Blue Beetle. Hey, Eddie, give me that bottle.
Stand where you are, or I'll...
Got him. Got the Blue Beetle with this paperweight.
That's good work, Gus. He's out cold. What'll we do with him?
Tie him up. We'll take him out to the old... Wait a minute. Hello? Who? Yeah. What? Joe Riley was already dead when the ambulance picked him up. Then he didn't talk. Good. What? Mannigan is on his way over here? What about? Oh, my license plate on the murder car. Say, I fixed that. Okay. Goodbye.
What's the matter, Gus?
The mouthpiece just phoned. Now, look, Nosey. Mike Mannigan is on his way over here. You get my sedan. Drive it out to Lover's Leap and run it off the cliff into the sea. You got it?
Yeah, but
Be sure to take off the license plates first and destroy them. Also take one license plate for my roadster.
But what's the idea?
I'll say the murderers of Joe Riley must have stolen one of my license plates and used it on their car.
Hey, the copper. What about the Blue Beetle here?
I'll take care of him. Beat it, Nosey. Out the back way. Just a minute. I'm coming. But first, I'll open the safe and make this look like a robbery. Oh, it's you, Officer Mannigan. Come in.
I want to talk to you, Heinrich. I want to talk to you about Joe Riley's murder.
Yeah?
Your license plates are on the car. Hey, who's that on the floor?
That's a little present for you, Mannigan, with my compliments.
The Blue Beetle. Well, I'll be... What's he doing here?
I caught him robbing my safe, and I overpowered him. He's all yours, Mannigan. A suitable reward for a brave and capable guardian of the law.
What will happen to the Blue Beetle now? Will he be taken to police headquarters and unmasked? Or will he escape and pick up the trail of the murderous kidnappers? Is there some connection between the kidnapping of the parole commissioner's daughter and the parole racket? These questions will be answered in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle. Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes
the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is the second part of a story entitled Saved by a Hair. In the first part of the story, Patrolman Dan Garrett has taken on the investigation of the parole racket in an effort to save Jim Horton, the son of a friend of Mike Manigan, from a long term in jail. The body of Officer Joe Riley, investigating the kidnapping of Parole Commissioner Downey's daughter Helen, has been tossed out of a fleeing sedan. The license number of the murder car leads to Gus Heinrichs, cafe owner. While questioning Heinrichs, Dan Garrett, in his Blue Beetle disguise, is temporarily stunned by a blow on the head. Nosy, one of Heinrichs' henchmen, has been sent to cover up the murder trail by running Heinrichs' sedan off a cliff into the sea at Lover's Leap. As the episode ended, Heinrichs was turning over to Officer Manigan the unconscious body of the Blue Beetle. As our story opens today, Manigan, still in Heinrichs' office, is questioning him about the murder sedan.
Now, what about this license number I have here?
I'm sure I don't know anything about it.
It's your number, ain't it?
Yeah, it's my number. But the license plate must have been stolen from my car.
Well, where is your car now?
In the garage back of my office here.
Well, suppose we have a look.
Well, what about the Blue Beetle on the floor there?
No, he's still unconscious. He'll stay there till we get back. I've handcuffed him to the radiator pipe.
All right, then this way. I have a passageway connecting with my private garage.
Go ahead, I'll follow you, but no monkey business.
So I'm unconscious, am I? I've just been playing possum. Now to burn these handcuffs off with my magic ray. There. Now to catch Nosy with Heinrich's other car, the murder car, before he runs it off Lover's Leap into the sea. I'll need that car for evidence. And maybe I can pick up the kidnap trail from Nosy. Now, that looks like the murder car ahead. Only one man in it. It must be Nosy. Yes, he's turned off on the road to Lover's Leap. I'll have to step on it. Here we go. Ah, this motorcycle can certainly travel. All right, Nosy. Pull up.
Not me. No motorcycle cop's going to stop me.
This is no motorcycle cop. It's the Blue Beetle. And he's going to nip.
Hey, get off this running board.
Put on those brakes. Put on those brakes, quick. We'll both go over Lover's Leap together.
Maybe you're going, but not me, brother. I'm dropping off.
No, you don't. You're staying with me. Put on those brakes.
It's too late. We're headed right for the cliff. Let me out of here. Let me out.
You're going where I go, Nosy. I hope you can swim, because here we go. Well, Officer Manigan, I hope you're satisfied.
Not completely. I'll continue my investigations elsewhere.
Good. And don't forget to pick up the Blue Beetle in my office.
Oh, I'll pick him up all right. It'll sure be a feather in my cap.
Well, here we are at my office. You tell the DA I'm at his service to testify against the Blue Beetle any time.
Where is the Blue Beetle?
It's lying right there.
Yeah, but he is now. And here's me handcuffs burned right through.
This is serious. We've got to catch that thief.
Yes, but how? He's a slippery one, that Blue Beetle.
That's your job, Manigan. Better get busy or I'll report you to the commissioner for negligence. No wonder our city is overrun with crooks. What we need is better police protection.
Hello? Commissioner Downey speaking.
This is the Blue Beetle, Commissioner.
The Blue Beetle?
Yes. I think I've located your daughter.
You have? Where is she?
She's being held prisoner at the old sawmill.
How do you know?
I rescued one of the kidnapped gang from drowning. And the car he was driving went over the cliff at Lover's Leap. He confessed to me.
Fine work. I'll have the police on the trail right away.
Just a minute, Commissioner. Don't do that, please.
Oh, what is this, a joke? If it is, I'll have every police officer in the city on your trail.
Now, wait. Listen to me.
Well?
There's a chance of rescuing your daughter and apprehending a lot of crooks if this matter is handled right.
What do you mean, handled right?
Now, first, tell me, have you received any ransom demands from the kidnappers?
No, not a word of any kind.
Have you anything that might be of value to a gang of crooks?
No, not that I can think of.
Any papers of any sort that might be of value to the wrong people?
Only the parole records and recommendations, a list of prospective parolees.
Where are they?
In my safe here at home.
That's the answer. This whole thing ties up with the parole racket.
What do you mean?
The kidnappers are after those papers. Who knows the combination of your safe beside yourself?
Only my daughter.
That's why they're holding her, to make her divulge the combination of your safe. They plan to steal those papers and blackmail every man that's out on parole or who may be later released on parole.
Why, I never heard of such a fantastic plan. I'll call the police commissioner and
Listen, Commissioner Downey. If you do that, you'll scare these rats underground.
What do you advise, Blue Beetle?
Set no guards around your house at all. Move to a hotel right away.
But
I'll leave everything to me, Commissioner. The Blue Beetle will have these crooks rounded up before dawn.
Now look, Miss Downey. We want the combination of your father's safe.
I won't tell you.
I'm sure you will, Miss Downey. Squint.
Yeah, boss.
Start the saw going.
Right.
Run a log through. You hear that, Miss Downey?
Yes, I heard it. What about it?
Just imagine yourself bound to a log being run through like a glass log.
Why, you fiend, you wouldn't dare to...
Dare? Squint.
Yeah, boss.
Shut off the motor. Give me a hand here with Miss Downey.
Right.
You take her feet. I'll take her head.
You dare touch me, and I'll scream the whole world down around your ears.
You go ahead and scream. No one will hear you out here. We're miles away from civilization in the woods here. Pick her up, Squint.
Right.
Help! Save me!
Boss, that's Gagger. I mean, noise don't stand a woman's yelling.
Tie her to that log on the saw rack while I stick this gag in her mouth.
Yeah.
Help!
Now, Miss Downey, one last chance. Will you tell me the combination of your father's safe? Shake your head, yes or no. All right, that's your last chance. Nobody knows you're here. Nobody knows we're here. Start the saw, Squint. Oh, hold it, Squint. So, you're ready to talk, Miss Downey. Another foot, and it would have been too late. Remove the gag, Squint.
Right, boss.
Good.
There.
Now, Miss Downey, the combination.
Dial left to 7, right to 12, then left twice to 8.
She's fainted, boss. What'll I do with her?
We got what we wanted. We will let her go. She'll squeal. Now, start your saw, and let's beat it.
Right, boss. Hey, what's that noise?
The Blue Beetle.
Hey.
Stop that motor or I'll blast you.
What'll I do, boss?
Get away from that motor.
Oh!
That puts you out of the running, Squint.
Now for you, Heinrichs. Where are you? Oh, there you go. Well, I'll get you later. The Blue Beetle's going to nip the whole gang of murderers, kidnappers, and racketeers.
Left 7, right 12, then left twice to 8. There. And now?
The last scene of the play, Heinrich, the Blue Beetle. Yes, and he's going to nip.
Not this time, Blue Beetle.
Drummond, the mouthpiece, Gangland's famous old man counselor at law, who dyes his hair to keep him young looking.
I may be old, but I know my business. The law's never caught up with me yet, and they never will. I'm too clever for them.
You're not dealing with the law now. You're facing the Blue Beetle.
But the Blue Beetle will never nip again.
Put down that gun, Drummond.
Not till I've wiped out you and Heinrich.
Not me, Drummond. I didn't squeal.
No, but you were trying to double-cross me. So here's one for you, Heinrich. And one for you, Blue Beetle.
Drummond, your hair. It's turning white.
White? My beautiful black hair turning white?
Oh. That for you, Drummond. Never turn your eyes from your opponent if you want to win your point. You vain old man. Your hair was your undoing and my salvation. Here comes the law for you, you crooks. They'll put you where you can't prey on poor unfortunates like Jim Horton. Your parole racket is smashed. The Blue Beetle's job is done.
And so the Blue Beetle smashed another racket and won another battle in his crusade against crime. The moral of this story is that neither experience nor intelligence is proof against right and good. History proves that, in the long run, right always triumphs. Further adventures of the Blue Beetle will be dramatized in the next episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle.
The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet, Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with racketeers and saboteurs, risking his life that criminals and enemy spies will feel the weight of the law by the sting of the Green Hornet. Ride with Britt Reed in a thrilling adventure, The Sentinel of Death. The Green Hornet strikes again. The Reading Munitions Factory was working 24 hours a day, turning out vast quantities of materials for victory. A whole community had sprung up where just a few months before there had been cornfields and cow pastures. Hundreds of small workers' homes lined new streets. There were shops and stores, all of them conducted by the company for the benefit of the workers. Girls in slacks and men in overalls came and went through the tall, well-guarded gates. Tom Eden stepped to the newsboy by the gate as he was on his way to work. He bought a paper.
Same old stand every day, huh, Jimmy?
You bet, Mr. Eden. But as soon as I'm old enough, I'll be working inside that plant.
That's a ticket, Jimmy. Here you are.
Thanks, Mr. Eden.
Sentinel paper, extra paper. Get the Daily Sentinel.
It seemed casual enough, the way Tom Eden bought his daily paper on the way to work, but there was keen interest in the eyes of two men who sat in a car a short distance away.
Kruger, you saw that, didn't you?
Yes.
That was Tom Eden who bought the paper. He's one of the men I spoke about.
I hope he doesn't get shifted to some other department today.
He won't, I'm sure of it. And no matter if he does.
No matter?
No. I'm quite sure that there are enough of the special copies of the Daily Sentinel and the Clarion to do our work for us, and do it well.
Should we wait around here?
No, better not to.
What about the kid?
I'm confident that we can take care of him when the time comes. Start the car.
Workers were at their many jobs inside the vast plant. Machinery hummed in the usual way. Light trucks carrying completed goods moved quickly from place to place. And there was no hint of the disaster that was soon to strike. It came in a place that was watched by the sharp eyes of Tom Eden. It came suddenly, violent.
Fire! What's in this room? Gas, smoke, and flames. Where's that sprinkler? Fire extinguisher.
The room seemed filled with flames. By the time the automatic sprinklers broke into play, the fire was a raging inferno.
Fire! Fire! Help!
The explosion was followed by fire at the munitions factory, where every precaution had been taken to avoid such disaster.
Get back there! Stay outside the ropes! Let the doctor through! Get back!
Firefighters, police, and excited people rushed to the scene. Ed Lowry and Gail Manning, in spite of their reporter cards from the Daily Sentinel, could get no closer to the Reading munitions factory than the ropes that held back the surging crowds.
Can you feature that, Ed? We come out here to get a sweetness and light story about the new beauty parlor for women workers, and we get into an explosion.
Yeah, it looks like some of the women on those stretchers won't want any more beauty treatments.
Oh, Ed, don't be crass.
Look out, Gail. Here's another ambulance.
What are we going to do? We've been here for 2 hours, and all we can write so far is there's been an explosion and many lives lost.
Maybe we should phone Axford to come out. He was a cop once. He might be able to talk to someone.
Oh, the boss sent him upstate in that investigation, remember?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Hey, there's that guy O'Brien from the Clarion hanging over the ropes, same as we are.
But this is serious. The boss is saving that front page space for the beauty story, but we haven't got anything else to put in it. We can't even find out what... Hey, Sarge.
No use, lady. You can't come over them ropes.
Was it sabotage, Doyle?
I got no time to talk, Larry.
Oh, sabotage my foot. Every time something happens in a munitions factory, you think it's sabotage.
It was sabotage, as sure as I'm a top-flight reporter.
Oh, top flight, eh? Well, you can't even get a tumble from the cops.
Yeah, we can go back to the boss and see what he says. Oh, here comes another ambulance.
Oh!
Gail, what on earth are you doubled up like that for?
Oh, the shock, the excitement. Quick, the ambulance.
Gail, for the love of Mike,
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, quick, officer. Oh.
You'll have to take this woman.
Okay, officer, get her in quick. Easy does it now. Gail, that's it. Okay.
Let's get going.
My sacred aunt. She's up to something.
Britt Reed, publisher of the Daily Sentinel, had Gunnigan, the city editor, on the dictaphone.
Kill the beauty parlor story, Gunnigan, and hold space on page 1 for a follow-up on the munitions blast. Lowry's covering it.
He won't be able to write anything. I can't hold space much longer.
Gail Manning's with him. They're bound to have something.
So say, boss.
Oh, Lowry just came in, Gunnigan. Call me back. Okay. Was it sabotage?
Well, I don't know, boss, but look, it's about Gail.
What about her? Where is she?
Well, listen, I don't know exactly where she is.
I'm right here.
Gail, for the love... Are you all right?
Well, what's eating you all?
Miss Manning, you're not hurt.
No, Mr. Reed, I didn't get that close to the plant. But I don't have much to write about.
Oh, wait a minute, you two. An explosion in a munitions plant in wartime is a story. Gunnigan's holding up the edition.
Sure, it's a story, boss. But we couldn't get near a soul. Couldn't even get past the ropes.
Oh, speak for yourself, John. I got past the ropes.
You did? Well, go on, Miss Manning.
Yeah, she pulled a fast one.
Well, you couldn't have done it.
Please, Miss Manning.
Well, I got in an ambulance, Mr. Reed. It was the last one to leave, and some men were in it to be treated for shock.
What did you find out?
Tom Eden was in the ambulance. You remember him?
Oh, that printer we had here.
Say, he got a war job.
Well, he was right in the storeroom of the factory where the fire started.
He was? Did you get his story?
Not much, but I made a contact.
Was Tom hurt?
No, except for a few bruises.
Then he'll be sent home after he's treated?
I expect so.
That guy won't know anything.
Well, write up what you have, both of you, then go and call on Tom Eden. Get what you can from him. Take Miss Manning, Lowry.
Oh, now, Mr. Reed. It was I who got the lead. Please let me handle it alone.
Come on, gorgeous. This is something that calls for a man with experience. The authorities might shush him up.
And you'll find a way to get to him?
That's where experience counts.
Oh, like getting through the guards at the scene of the disaster, I suppose.
Go on, both of you. But before you leave, give something to a rewrite so Gunnigan can close the next edition.
Oh, is that all you got? Now you let me down. I got space to fill.
Hold it, Gunnigan. That's just the starter. Manning and I are on the way to see Tom Eden. When we come back, we'll have a real story.
You hope.
Yeah, we hope. Now, look here, Tom. You know Gail and me. Surely you can tell us something, can't you?
Well, there's not much to tell, Lowry. If I knew what caused the fire, if I knew anything about it, well, you know I'd tell you, even though the police warned me not.
Well, how long were you in the factory before it started, Tom?
Go right back to the beginning, before you went in the plant.
Oh, let's see. Well, I'd been a special guard in one of the storerooms. I was on my way to work.
Paper here, Sentinel paper, latest war news. Get your war news here,
Hello,
folks.
Jimmy.
Oh, hello,
Paper.
Hello, Mr. Eden. Here's the latest, just out.
Fine. Here you are.
Thanks. Paper, extra paper.
Yeah. I mentioned the paper because it seemed to me the paper had something to do with it. The authorities thought I was shell-shocked or something.
Go on, Tom.
You know how it is, Lowry. Being a newspaper man, you sort of get in the habit of noticing small things. Anyway, I went on the job guarding one of the rooms where there were chemicals stored. Explosive stuff.
What about the paper?
I read all of them, then put them aside to unpack my lunch. Next minute, the whole stack of papers were in flames. I never saw such hot flames. I couldn't get near. By the time the sprinkler started working, the fire had spread all over. It was like burning gas. I ran out, and then I heard the explosion. That's all I know.
When you came to, then what?
Well, that was in the ambulance. Guess it was all my fault. I should have done something.
Oh, but what could you have done, Tom?
I don't know. Could have done something besides losing my head the way I did.
Oh, well, don't feel so badly about it, Tom.
But what do you think caused it? Surely you weren't smoking.
Lowry, anyone who smokes in a factory like that is just fit for the lunatic asylum. And he'd land in Alcatraz.
And what could it have been?
I don't know. Fires are funny things. You never know.
There must be some reason.
Oh, here come the cops to investigate some more. You'd better get out, Ed. The back way. They gave me strict orders not to talk to anyone. But being an old news hound, I had to give out to you.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Come on, Gail. We'll beat it. Don't see how much of this we can publish.
Be seeing you, Tom. Drive up closer, Lowry.
Look, I'm driving your car. I'm your chauffeur. There's no use trying to get any closer to the plant, Gail.
Oh, come on, Ed.
What's the use? The ropes are still up, and there's a heavy guard.
Well, we might get a cop to talk to.
Wait a minute. I'd like to see that Clarion. Boy, paper.
Paper, sir?
Yeah, Clarion. In fact, give me all of them. I'll study the competition.
Here you are, sir.
Yeah, thanks, kid.
Paper, get your
Hey, buddy,
right here,
you can't park there.
Just a minute. I want to see the headlines.
Well, read them somewhere else. This is no parking lot.
Okay, officer.
Ah, the mean thing.
Yeah, we'll go around the block.
Let me have one of those papers, Ed. I'll see what there is.
Here. I'll toss the rest of them back of the seat.
There's a place to park down there.
Oh, yeah.
Not much of a story here.
They're throttling most of the facts.
Look, they gave O'Brien a byline.
Yeah?
Oh, I'd have my name on my story, too, if I'd found anything to write.
Go on. You'll be a toothless hag before you get a byline.
With scores of people killed, you talk about credits. Read this.
At noon today, fire and explosion wrecked the youth supply room of the Reading. But he hasn't said anything about... He just generalizes. Don't even say they suspect sabotage.
Maybe they don't, wise guy.
Now, look, there's a reason for everything. Sir Isaac Newton said it. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Fire's to be started by something.
Well, Socrates, what started the one in the Reading plant today?
I wish I knew. I'd write about it.
Oh, we better phone in what we have.
Yeah.
Oh, look. This is my clothes coop. A poor thing, but mine own. And I don't like newspapers jammed all over the place behind my head.
Like I said, Gail, a fire has to be started somehow. Now listen. Here's a guy sitting here, see? Just sitting here like this. All of a sudden, a fire starts. The place is ablaze. Well, how did it start?
Yeah, how did it? Answer me. Oh, maybe we can go see Tom again. Cops might have told him he was smoking in the subconscious.
No, not Tom. He has too much principle to smoke in a powder plant. Hey, what's going on here?
Ed! Oh, look, the whole car's on fire. Quick!
Get out, Gail. Open the door while I try to put...
I can't.
Where's that blanket you had?
Oh, it's under the ledge. You can't get it now. Open the door on that side.
I-
No, that's the window.
Oh, you've got to save the car. It was mine that let
Oh,
it
Ed,
burn.
my hair, my hands. Get that quick. I can't crawl out from under the wheel.
Here, wrap this coat around you. Now, I'll try to put it out and save the
Oh,
car.
I can't get it open, Ed. Never mind the car. Open it. Smash the door. Hurry.
Now, hurry up. Out with you.
Don't touch.
Hello?
Mr. Reed,
Yes, Reed speaking.
this is St. Mary's Hospital.
Who?
St. Mary's Hospital.
St. Mary. Oh, yes.
Mr. Lowry wants to speak to you.
Well, put him on.
Hey, boss. We, Gail and I,
What's the matter, Lowry? Speak louder, will you? What are you doing at a hospital?
we almost got burned to death.
Burned. You all right now?
Yeah.
Did you give the story to the desk?
Yeah, I just talked to Gunnigan.
How's Gail?
Singed, but okay. Look, boss, can you come over here? They won't let me out.
I'll be right there. Sit tight.
Gail was sent home a few minutes ago. But I swear, boss, that car burned up for no good reason at all. And the same goes for the factory.
Lowry, you say you bought a paper?
Yeah, a lot of them. Same as Tom Eden. But I don't see how that can mean anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, probably it doesn't. But don't say anything about it.
Okay.
And Lowry, you stay here for a while. I'll be in to see you in the morning.
You late, Mr. Britt.
Yes, Cato. Got the hornet mask and the gas weapon. We're going places.
Hornet's mask and the gas?
Yes, get them and make it snappy, Cato. We're going out on the Black Beauty. The Green Hornet is going to take up where those two reporters left off.
A few minutes later, stepping through a secret panel in the rear of a closet in his bedroom, Britt Reed and Cato went along a narrow passage built within the wall of the apartment house itself. This passage led to an adjoining building which fronted on a dark side street. Though supposedly abandoned, this building served as the hiding place for the sleek, superpowered Black Beauty, streamlined car of the Green Hornet. As they went along the passage, Britt told Cato of what had happened to Lowry and Gale.
Poor Miss Manning. And Mr. Lowry. Were they much hurt?
No, Cato. More shock, I think. Gale's hair was singed. You drive, Cato.
Yes, sir.
We're going to that newsstand outside the entrance to the Reading factory.
Cato pressed a button. The great car roared into life. A section of the wall in front raised automatically, then closed as the gleaming Black Beauty sped out into the darkness and on to its destination.
This is it, Cato. I'm going to buy all his papers. Pull your hat down, Cato.
Yes, sir.
Keep your window open and watch those papers. Be sure to get rid of them in a hurry.
You suspect something in the paper?
Yes. Something Lowry told me that's too fantastic to publish. Hey, Chief. Bring your papers here.
Yes, sir. Which one one, sir? Clarion, Sentinel?
All of them.
You mean both papers?
All you've got. Whole stack.
Gee, you're masked.
Quiet, son.
You're the Green Hornet.
That's right. Now pile in here. I need you.
But
Take it easy, son. You're not going to be hurt.
You sound like a good guy.
Come on. You're going to ride in the Black Beauty.
Yes, sir. Golly, wait till the gang hears about this. Boy, what a job this car is.
What's your name, son?
Phil.
Phil? That's a good name. Who handles your corner?
It's a new guy. He bought out the fella that had the corner before.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's easy to work for. He told Jimmy and me to bring the papers to us to save us coming to his place for them.
You don't know where his place is, then?
No,
It's tough. What kind of a car does he drive?
an old Chevy. He's got a B ticket on it.
I don't suppose you know the license number.
Sure I do.
Trouble in the rear. I see it.
Cops, they're coming.
I'll give them a run. Now listen, Bill. What's that license quickly?
BC 9918.
You have the book? I have it. See whose license it is. Name and address. That's the address we want.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Pull up here. That turn on the avenue got rid of the police for the time being. Now here. Take these papers to the laboratory.
Yes, sir.
You can get there in a few minutes. Examine them.
But what do you...
Never mind me. I have the gas weapon. You know the chemical tests to use on the papers. I'll make out a report and bring it to me. You got all the papers?
Yes.
And Bill, here's money to cover the papers I bought. You go straight home and stay there. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, the police may question you. I think they saw me pick you up.
I won't say anything.
No, you tell them the truth. Tell them just exactly what happened. Tell them the truth. The truth will never get you into trouble. Remember that.
Golly, I sure can't understand you.
Don't try. Now get out of here and go home.
All cars on watch for the Green Hornet. The Green Hornet was last seen in vicinity of B and 10th Streets. Car 17, 32,
Forming
and
a cordon.
14.
Hurry back, Cato. We can't afford to be trapped here.
29, 31, and 33 patrol north of zone.
Cato, we'd better hurry.
Within the area. Cars 12, 9, 8.
Cato, hurry. Get in here. The police are throwing out the dragnet.
Yes, I'm ready.
Now, what's the report? Did you examine the papers?
Yes, sir. Just what you thought. Moisten the papers to delay action.
You found the phosphorus?
Yes.
And hang on. We've got to go through a cordon.
Here he comes. Stop in the name of the law. Stop him. Get after him.
All right, get going. Take her over. That was the Green Hornet, and he's going places.
Confounded Kruger, there's nothing at all in the newspapers.
You might know the government would suppress most facts about the explosion.
Yeah, but we've got to send in some sort of a report on the damage that was done. Where's Ilsa?
Listening to the radio. The last she had was something about the Green Hornet.
I know about that. Heard it on the shortwave radio here in the laboratory. And I don't like it.
All right. Why did the Hornet pick up that newsboy?
I don't know.
Well, at any rate, the police will trap him. They have a dragnet system.
Let me talk to the kid. Where is he?
Wait, I'll get him. Ilsa, send the kid in here.
Go on, Jimmy. Look here, Mr. Kruger. What's the idea of keeping me in here?
Now, Jimmy, relax.
Well, I want to go home.
Aren't you interested in the chemical experiments we're going to show you?
No.
Jimmy, sit there.
Mr. Heflin, I don't see why you keep me in here. I told you I quit the corner at 7 and turn whatever papers I have over to Bill Jackson.
That's what we want to ask about, Jimmy. How many of the early edition did you have left?
A lot of them.
And Billy took them?
Of course, he always does. We generally sell them out before we peddle the later ones. It's easier than returning them, and most people don't care.
I see.
Today, everyone bought the latest editions on account of the follow-up stories on the explosion.
So Billy had quite a few of the early edition, huh? Kruger, I don't like it. We'd better get in touch with Billy, huh?
Yes, we better.
I have some news for you.
Yes? The Green Hornet's caught, is that it?
No, the Green Hornet is not caught. He broke through the cordon.
What? What?
I think I'd like to know this Green Hornet.
Jimmy, does Billy know about us?
I don't know, and I don't care. I'm going home.
Sit down.
I won't. I don't have to.
Sit down.
Why, you all...
Take it easy.
You let me go, do you hear? Let me go. What's the big idea, anyway?
Here's some rope. I'll tie him.
You just try it.
Is this necessary?
More than this will be necessary before we're through with this
He's
kid.
just a boy.
He's old enough to serve his country.
But his country is not our country.
Shut up, Hilda.
So that's it. You're spies. Why, you dirty...
That'll do.
Green Hornet.
So you're in with them,
Stand
too.
aside. Drop that rope.
Eflin Kruger, do something. Get him.
I'll show him.
Not so fast.
That gun. Look out.
You too.
Now, my friend, drop that weapon and be quick.
Holy mackerel, you knocked him out with that.
You'd better drop that gun, young lady. You'll be here with them.
Yes, we'll see about that.
My friend in back of you was also armed with a gas weapon.
These guys are crooks. They tried to keep
Save
me
it,
here.
kid. We'd like to turn these lights off.
Look, you can't be one of them.
Neither could anyone else with a spark of judgment. The Third Reich's a bad risk.
Why'd you turn out those lights?
Cops are on my heels. You come out the window with me.
This way.
But
As soon as you're in the street, you can go home or to the police. They'll be glad to hear what you have to tell them.
I hear the police now.
Yes, all right, I fixed things.
The door.
I locked it. While they smash it, we scram.
Someone in the name of the law. Let's go. All right, what for? Shoot at the first sign of trouble.
Let's find the light switch. Hey, look where my flashlight is. It's sprawled all over the floor.
Here's the switch.
Great guns. 3 of them. 2 men and a girl.
Stand clear, you guys. Let me get some pictures.
Lowry.
Hey, where'd you come from?
Never mind the clothes. I had to borrow them to get out of the hospital. Oh, what's this, a wholesale murder?
Lowry, you're bad news.
Save it. I heard things happening on the radio. Saw your car in front.
Hey, look. This guy's the Green Hornet, mask and all.
Don't bet on it.
But the mask.
Wait a minute. What's the stack of papers? There's a note on them.
Hold on, Lowry. That's evidence. Get your hands off.
Well, all right then, smart guy. Read this.
Gassy. You gassy. Come on, mister, we got you. You're the Green Hornet.
Oh, you're crazy.
What happened?
All right, you're covered. And you too.
Hey, here's a pile of newspapers the Hornet brought in.
Hey, throw them out the window. Get rid of them. They're inflammable.
We know all about them, Ratface. They're dipped in some chemical stuff. When they get good and dry and then they're handled some, they bust into flames. Keeping these damp, there'll be swell evidence against you.
And everything in this laboratory will tie up to you.
And to the munitions fire.
By golly, you're the Hornet, eh? Unmasked at last. Nothing but a foreign agent.
Can't pin that on me. I'm not the Hornet.
You're right about that. The Hornet left that message for you, Copper. You can check with the chemist on these papers.
And it says here to check with Jimmy.
If you need help in making a case against these 3 called on me.
We don't need your help. And Lowry, watch what you put...
I know. What we publish. Don't worry, Mr. Reed knows we should be subdued. But you can bet your bottom dollar that we're going to say that you guys followed the Green Hornet and got these 3.
Hey, that's right. Where is the Green Hornet? We followed them in here.
Doesn't an open window mean anything to you?
Huh?
There. That's his car.
Let me look. Hang it all. There he goes. Out the alley, back of the building. He's got away again.
Explosion sound! Green Hornet escaped Cotton! Green Hornet still at large! Read all about it! Central Gillespie, Weber!
You have just heard the adventure, Sentinel of Death. These exciting dramas are sent to you each week at this same time. They are copyrighted features of the Green Hornet Incorporated. All characters, names, places, and incidents used in this drama are purely fictitious. Bob Height speaking. This program has come to you from the studios of WXYZ in Detroit. This is the Blue Network.
The Blue Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes
the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's transcribed episode of the Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is entitled The Asylum of Dr. Dreer. Who is Dr. Dreer, and what sort of an asylum does he run? Is he a friend of the unfortunate, or is he a schemer against law and order? As our story opens today, Patrolman Dan Garrett, who is really the Blue Beetle, is entering the little apothecary shop of his friend and confidant, Dr. Franz, the chemist.
Hello, Doc. Cash customer.
Oh, hello, Danny.
What's new?
There's a young lady waiting for you.
Oh, young lady, where?
Back in the laboratory.
Oh, what does she want, and who is she?
Diana Tilson.
Banker Tilson's foster daughter?
Yes.
What's she doing here?
I don't know, Danny. Hadn't you better go back and talk with her? She seems very much disturbed about something.
All right, I'll talk with her. Good evening, Miss Tilson.
Oh, good evening. You're Patrolman Dan Garrett, aren't you?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, I'm so glad you've come. I've been waiting some time.
What is it you wish to see me about?
Well, my father, rather my foster father, has disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes.
You're sure he hasn't gone on town on
I'm
business?
Positive. Here's a note he left for me.
I'm going away for a long rest. Don't worry. Linus will take care of everything. Love, Dad. Oh, well, this doesn't look as if your father had been kidnapped or met foul play. It's his handwriting, isn't it?
Yes, I think so, but I'm not certain.
Are there any suspicious circumstances mixed up with the disappearance?
Yes, there are.
What are they?
Well, for one thing, Dad's nephew, Linus Weatherby.
Linus Weatherby?
Yes, do you know him?
Only by reputation.
Quite a playboy.
Yes, so I've heard.
Well, he's Dad's nephew and an officer of Dad's bank. Recently, things haven't been going any too well at the bank, and Dad's been worried. Financially, I mean.
I see. Go on.
Linus insists that Dad is acting strangely, and a month or so ago he called in a psychiatrist, Dr. Dreer, to examine Dad.
What was his opinion?
That Dad needed a rest.
Well, your father's note seems to indicate he has taken Dr. Dreer's advice.
Yes, but here's a strange thing. Dad can't read or write without his glasses. He wears them constantly. He'd be lost without them. Today, I found them in his desk drawer.
When did you last see him?
2 nights ago.
Well, I wouldn't worry. He'll probably send for his glasses in a day or so, and you'll learn his whereabouts.
But there's one thing more.
What is that?
Since Father's disappearance, Linus has become more insistent that I marry him. He acts like someone who has the whip hand of a situation. Oh, he's becoming unbearable.
Well, why don't you go to the commissioner? He'd probably turn the city upside down to locate your father.
But that's just the point. I don't want to do that. If he is all right, he'd resent such interference. Then if he isn't... Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm so worried and puzzled.
There, don't cry. I'll do what I can to help you find your dad. You run along home, and I'll phone you in the morning.
Oh, thank you so much. There, that's to show you how much I appreciate your help. Goodbye.
Gosh, I'm glad Mannigan didn't see her kiss me. I'd never hear the last of it.
And where is it we're headed for this morning, Danny?
The booby hatch.
The booby hatch, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you reserve a single or a double room?
A single. That'll be big enough for you.
Is that so? And under what name did you register me?
Sherlock Holmes.
And I suppose you're Dr. Watson?
No. Daniel Boone. We're calling upon a Dr. Dreer, who, according to Charlie Storm of the News, runs a private sanitarium for the mentally upset out of Tanglewild.
Oh, you mean he runs an insane asylum?
That's right.
And why are we visiting Dr. Dreer?
We'd like to discover if he has a patient there with the name of Tilson.
The banker?
The same.
Oh. Say, does the commissioner know about this?
No, this is a private mission.
Okay, Danny, I'm with you. Let's go.
Good morning, officers. Something wrong?
One of my attendants said you wished to speak with me.
Dr. Dreer.
That's right.
We're not here officially, Dr. Dreer. Miss Tilson, who happens to be a friend of mine, asked me to drive out here and ask if her father was here.
Yes, he's here. Would you like to see him?
Yes, if we might.
Very well. If you'll just come with me, I'll let you talk with him. But not very long. He's very nervous and tired, on the verge of a breakdown. You realize, I'm sure, what times like these can mean to a man in his position.
Quite.
Well, here we are. Two gentlemen to see you, Mr. Tilson.
Come in. Come in. Excuse my not rising. Very tired, you know. Nerve shot.
Well, that's perfectly all right. We just called at the request of your foster daughter. She was worried about you and thought you might be out here.
Oh, dear Diana. Tell her not to worry. I'll be all right in time, I hope. Tell her Linus will take care of everything. He's a good boy. He'll take care of her.
I'll tell her, Mr. Tilson. Just one thing more. Did you write her this note?
Let's see. My glasses are foggy. I see better without them. Yes, I wrote this note. Why?
Oh, she just wondered, that's all. Well, we won't disturb you any longer. I hope you recover your health and strength very quickly, Mr. Tilson. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thanks for coming. Tell Diana not to visit me until I'm... Oh, my head, oh,
You're
my
very
head,
quickly,
oh.
gentlemen. He's a very sick man.
So it appears. Goodbye and thanks. Come on, Mike.
Well, what do you think, Danny?
I think it's strange that a man who's supposed to be unable to read or write without his glasses takes them off to read that note. Step on it, Mike. I've got a hunch and I want to play it quickly. This is some layout. Dr. Dreer certainly does himself proud. There must be some money in psychiatry.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
You're Sir Lancelot, aren't you?
I'm the Blue Beetle.
Oh, no, you're not. You're Sir Lancelot. I'm King Arthur. I know.
I see. Well, let's pretend I'm Sir Lancelot's brother.
His twin brother.
Yes.
We got twins in here.
Have you?
Yes.
What's their name?
Tilson.
Tilson?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
By the Holy Grail, I swear. I've seen them.
Show me, will you?
On one condition, Sir Lancelot.
What's that?
Promise me you'll get me a new round table. They took mine away.
Okay, I promise.
Follow me, but don't make a sound. There's black knights on guard, and Merlin the magician is always snooping around.
Who's Merlin?
The wicked magician who runs this place. Calls himself Dr. Dreer, but he can't fool me. Here, this way. Follow me.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain time to walk the night, and by the day confined to fast and fire.
Let me but look once more upon my beloved France, and I shall die.
Dickory, dickory, dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down.
See, here's one twin. He's the crazy one. They keep him locked up.
Thanks very much, King Arthur.
You're welcome, Sir Lancelot. I'm going now, before the Black Knights come. Don't forget about my round table.
Yeah, what's going on outside my door?
Is that you, Mr. Tilson? The real Mr. Tilson?
Of course it's me. Who are you?
The Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. I thought they'd get you someday. Always doing crazy stunts.
I'm here to save you.
Who sent you?
Never mind that now. Tell me who put you in here.
Oh, that low-down nephew of mine. He and Dr. Dreer. They must have drugged me.
Just a minute now till I try one of my master keys.
To horse, Sir Lancelot, to horse. The Black Knights are coming. To horse, to horse.
There he is. Come on, Joe. Hey, come on the stairway.
Yes, it's the Blue Beetle. Come on, you mugs, and get nipped.
Stop him with the rubber hose, Joe.
You'll have to get under my guard first. Let's get that gun out of you, Joe.
Hey, force him back to that room there, Joe.
Sorry, but I'm going the other way.
Here. What's going on here? Blue Beetle, he was talking to Tilson.
Shut up. Put on your gas mask and stand aside till I give him a shot of this tear gas.
They've killed Sir Lancelot.
Grab the Blue Beetle, boys.
Sir Lancelot's dead.
Put him in the straitjacket. In the morning, we'll give the Blue Beetle a permanent room without windows.
What will happen to the Blue Beetle in the sanitarium of Dr. Dreer? Will he be able to free himself from the straitjacket and save Banker Tilson? These questions will be answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle. Beetle. Sweeping down upon the underworld to smash gangland comes
the mysterious, all-powerful character who is a problem to the police, but a crusader for law. In reality, Dan Garrett, a rookie patrolman, loved by everyone, but suspected by none of being the Blue Beetle. As the Blue Beetle, he hides behind a strange mask and a suit of impenetrable blue chain armor, flexible as silk, but stronger than steel.
Today's episode of the transcribed Fox feature, The Blue Beetle, is the second part of a story entitled The Asylum of Dr. Dreer. In the previous episode, Diana Tilson asked Patrolman Dan Garrett to locate her missing foster father, Banker Tilson. He has disappeared, leaving a note addressed to her, saying he was going away for a rest. She is suspicious, however, of the actions of Tilson's nephew, Linus Weatherby, and a Dr. Dreer, a psychiatrist, whom Weatherby brought in to examine the banker. Armed with a description of the banker, Dan Garrett and Mike Manigan visit the private sanitarium of Dr. Dreer. They are permitted to interview a man who fits the description of Banker Tilson. He claims he is on the verge of a nervous breakdown and wishes to remain for a long rest. But a suspicious circumstance makes Dan Garrett decide to return later as the Blue Beetle. He finds the real Tilson and is about to release him from a cell when he is discovered by the guards and Dr. Dreer and overcome by tear gas. As the episode ended, he was strapped in a straitjacket and locked up among the more violent inmates. As today's story opens, Diana Tilson's telephone is ringing.
Hello?
Is that Miss Tilson?
Yes?
Have you seen Dan Garrett?
Who is this?
This is Officer Manigan, Danny's pal.
Oh, no, I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's strange. I ain't either, not since we got back from Dr. Dreer's insane asylum.
Oh, tell me, did you find my father?
Yes, we did.
Did you show him my note?
Yes, he read it himself.
Oh, did he have his glasses?
Yes, but he...
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello.
What you are?
Oh, hello, Linus. Yes, I was talking to someone about father.
And what did they tell you?
Well, they've seen him out at Dr. Dreer's sanitarium.
Oh. Diana, why don't you marry me and let me take care of you? Someday I'll inherit Uncle's money and we'll be rich.
No, Linus, it's no use. I'll never marry you.
You may change your mind. You're upset now. I think I'll have Dr. Dreer talk with you. Perhaps a little rest at his sanitarium would get your thoughts in the right channel.
Pardon me, sir. Dr. Dreer calling to see you.
Thank you, Wedgwood. Show him into the library. I'll be right down.
Very good, sir.
Before I go, I want to warn you, young lady. If you want to save your father's life, you'd better do as I say. Good night, my dear. You say, Dreher, the Blue Beetle was also out there?
Yes. We caught him talking to your uncle, the real banker Tilson.
That's bad.
No, we'll take care of the Blue Beetle. Don't worry about him.
What about Olson, the actor who's impersonating Tilson?
I'll take care of him also. And by the way, he'd like to have some more money on account. And so would I.
He'll get it. And you'll get it when I get it.
What about the meeting with the mayor's committee tomorrow?
That's all arranged. You have Olson there, made up as my uncle. He'll verify what I tell the committee.
Very well. But I must be getting back to my sanitarium. It's quite late and...
Stay here tonight. Everything's in order out there, isn't it?
I believe so.
Fine. Then we'll go out and burn up the town. After tomorrow, our worries will be over.
Yeah. What is it now?
It's the Blue Beetle. I'm going to get you out of here.
Good. I'll pay you well if you make it.
The Blue Beetle doesn't work for money.
You belong here, Blue Beetle. You're really crazy. Where are the guards?
In the other wing, drunk, apparently. Come on, Mr. Tilson. Follow me.
How did you get out of that cell in straitjacket?
Master keys and a special 2X formula that gives me super strength and vitality. I've locked the guards in their quarters. What a headache they're going to have in the morning. Shh. That may be for Dr. Dreher.
Well, what are you going to do?
Wait here until we see if Dr. Dreher's in his office. Wonder where Dreher is.
He's probably in town with that no-good nephew of mine, painting the town red.
I'm going to take a chance and answer the telephone. I'll disguise my voice. Hello? Yeah? Who? Is that Dr. Dreher? Yeah, this is Gus. Yeah, Gus. Sure, everything's under control. Yeah, you stay in town tonight. Okay. Who? Oh, the guy impersonating Tilson. Sure, I'll leave a message for him. I'll tell him to come to town in the morning. The Blue Beetle? Say, Doctor, Blue Beetle and Tilson are just where they ought to be. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Why, you'd make a good actor, Blue Beetle.
Oh, thanks. Come on, let's get out of here. My car's hidden alongside the road about a mile from here. Think you can make it, Mr. Tilson?
I never felt better in my life. Come on. When I get back to town, we'll put those scoundrels where they belong.
Oh, here comes Weatherby now.
Oh, where's Tilson?
I don't know. He should be here. Gentlemen, has the mayor arrived? Well, he couldn't make it. Press of official duties. Oh, I'm sorry. Will you be seated, please?
Yes. Thank you. Where's your uncle, Mr. Weatherby?
I'll have to ask your indulgence, gentlemen. Uncle Amos is a very sick man. He'll be here in just a moment with his physician, Dr. Greer.
Well, that's too bad. Why, I didn't know he was ill.
In the meantime, we'll get down to business. You gentlemen are a committee appointed by the mayor, I believe, to represent the city in receiving a gift of $1 million from my uncle, to be matched by another $1 million appropriated by the city to build a children's hospital.
Yes, that's right.
Well, gentlemen, it is my sad duty to have to inform you that my uncle is withdrawing his offer.
What's that? Did we hear you right, young man?
You did, gentlemen. My uncle feels that he has too many obligations and too many duties right now. He is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Therefore, he is turning his affairs over to me to manage.
Well, what about your authorizing this gift?
Oh, gentlemen, I agree with Uncle Amos. I do not feel that his financial condition will allow such a gift to be made at present.
But the city has already appropriated its share. The land has been condemned, and the work of demolishing old tenements has been started.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but the decision is final.
Well, I demand to see Amos Tilson. Until I hear it from his own lips, I will not believe that
Just a moment, gentlemen. Here's Uncle Amos now. He will speak for himself. Wheel the chair over here, please.
Gentlemen, what my nephew has just told you is true. I'm turning my affairs over to a younger man to handle. I want to rest and enjoy life. As soon as my nephew converts my real estate holdings and other possessions into cash, we are going away for a long trip. Heaven speed the day. I am very tired.
Dr. Dreer, my uncle, I'm afraid
He's just fainted. If you'll have the maid get some water, I'll give him a hypodermic.
Gentlemen, I know you'll excuse me, but I must be with my
It's a
uncle.
very pretty scene, but it won't...
Well, who's that?
It looks like...
It is Amos Tilson, the real Amos Tilson.
This man is an imposter. I'll call the police.
Imposter, my eye, you young jackanapes. You and that crooked Dr. Dreer thought you could get rid of me and take over my fortune, but your plans didn't work out.
Look there! The other Tilson, he's running for the door.
And Dr. Dreer with him.
Stop them! Look there in the doorway.
Who is it?
The Blue Beetle. And I've come to nip 3 crooks. Stand where you are. Dreer, Weatherby, and Olson. Officer Manigan and his assistants will escort you to headquarters. They're on their way here now.
Good work, Blue Beetle. But where's my daughter?
Here I am, Uncle Amos. The Blue Beetle just released me from my room. Her Linus locked me in.
Well, he'll soon be locked in where even the Blue Beetle can't free him. Gentlemen, tell the mayor my gift to the city still stands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tilson.
Don't thank me. Thank the Blue Beetle. If it hadn't been for him, there'd be no children's hospital for York City.
Well, Danny, and how did you like your visit to the booby hatch, as Mannigan calls it?
Oh, that's a terrible place.
Well, what will happen to it now that Dr. Dreer's in prison?
Amos Tilson's going to take it over and make a real sanitarium out of it. Put a real psychiatrist at the head of it, and install modern conveniences and more humane personnel.
Ah, that's splendid. What about Weatherby?
He's to be disinherited. Tilson's money will go to his foster daughter, Diana.
Well, the Blue Beetle certainly straightened that situation out.
But there's one thing he forgot.
Forgot?
Yes, a promise he made to King Arthur.
King Arthur? Why, who's King Arthur?
One of the unfortunates at the sanitarium.
Where are you going, Danny?
I'm going to buy King Arthur the new round table I promised him.
And so a little private work of Patrolman Dan Garrett as the Blue Beetle brought happiness to many people, as well as justice to a group of dishonest men. The moral of this story is, always find time to help the unfortunate. And whenever you make a promise, keep it. What further adventures await the Blue Beetle in his crusade against crime? This question will be answered in the next transcribed episode of The Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle is a copyrighted Fox feature appearing in Mystery Men Comics magazine and the Blue Beetle magazine. The Blue Beetle is on the air twice a week on this same station. Consult the broadcast schedule in your local newspapers. And don't forget to listen in to The Blue Beetle.
Extra, Sentinel Extra. Now the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush, presents the Green Hornet.
He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with the underworld, risking his life that criminals and racketeers within the law may feel its weight by the sting of the Green Hornet. Now ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure of The Spy Master. The Green Hornet strikes again. The adventures of the Green Hornet are brought to you by the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush. Delicious Orange Crush is made with real fresh oranges, with all its wonderful fresh fruit flavor sealed in that sun-proof Orange Crush brown bottle. The exclusive brown bottle that keeps light out, keeps flavor in. Always look for that exclusive brown bottle and enjoy the one and only Orange Crush. Scientist Leonard Fulton, a key man in the government's newest and greatest defense project, was a spy. In spite of security measures, he had gathered complete information regarding the fearsome secret weapon. He had spent the entire night in his suburban home, transferring the information to documents which would be given to his foreign superiors. He placed the documents in a safe, hidden behind a wall panel in his den. Then, smiling, he turned to his wife, herself a traitor.
Sarah, my dear, the next step is yours.
Shall I call our comrades at headquarters and tell them we're ready to transfer the information to them?
Of course. That is the next step, isn't it?
Leonard, who can that be at this hour of morning?
Are you afraid it may be the FBI? I assure you, dear, they'll have to get up earlier than this to catch yours truly. See who it is.
Sarah Fulton answered the door. The man who stood there was slight and bespectacled. He was Chauncey Gardner, another well-known scientist, and also engaged with Fulton on the government's defense project. Unlike Fulton, Gardner was a patriotic American. Sarah Fulton invited him inside, then went back to her husband's den.
Leonard, it's Chauncey Gardner. He seems very upset and says he must see you at once.
He does, huh? Well, tell the little bald-headed coot that he... Oh, he's coming in here.
Leonard, I hope you don't mind. I couldn't wait out there. I had to see you at once. About Charles Dempster's death.
What? Charles Dempster's death? Leonard, you're here?
Chauncey, you're fooling. Dempster's not dead. He can't be. I saw him last night.
And then he went home and killed himself.
Killed himself? Why? Why, Chauncey, do you know?
Yes, Leonard, I know. The police or the government security men don't know why he's a suicide, but I do.
Stop playing the role of talking sphinx. What are you trying to say?
If you know, Leonard, I'll not have to tell you. If you don't, then I'd rather not tell you in front of your wife.
Oh.
Don't leave, Sarah. Chauncey, whatever you have to say, you may say in front of Sarah.
Well, it's this letter, Leonard. I received it in the mail this morning. It's the last letter Charles Dempster wrote before he took his own life, written after he met you, as you'll see. I thought you should be given the opportunity to read it before I take the only action logical.
Let me see it. Past vital. What? So that's it.
Leonard, you're upset. What is it?
Jellyfish Dempster. Chauncey, do you believe what that psychopath Dempster says about me? That I'm actually master of a spy ring and that he and others passed vital information to me? Do you actually believe those things?
What I believe doesn't matter. I came here to get your version of the matters he outlines. You have nothing to tell me in rebuttal of what Dempster wrote? I'll go to the Security Bureau right now.
Leonard, don't let him do that. Don't let him.
I don't intend to. Chauncey, you'll stay right here. Sit down in that chair. Sarah, get my gun from the desk drawer.
Yes, darling.
Why are you doing this, Leonard? You're going to kill me?
No, Chauncey. I have other thoughts in mind.
Here's the gun, darling.
Use it to guard this would-be informer, Sarah. I'm leaving for the city at once. I'll go to the federal building and tell a story they'll be forced to believe. I'll say that Chauncey was the guilty party, the spy master who supervised Dempster and the others who stole secrets.
Chauncey Gardner, usually a mild man, suddenly became aware of the perilous situation. Perilous not only to him, but to the security of the United States. He began to formulate a plan in his mind shortly after Leonard Fulton departed for the city. More than half an hour passed, however, before he could make himself put the plan into action. Then, as Sarah Fulton sat opposite him with pointed gun, he arose from his chair and grasped his chest.
Oh, my heart! My heart!
What's the matter with you? Sit down in your chair.
I can't. My heart. I need water. Where is it? I must get it.
Come back here. Where are you going?
For water.
You're not. You are going to stay here.
Give me that gun, Mrs. Fulton.
You sneaky... Oh, my arm.
I must have that gun. There. You get back into the closet over there, Mrs. Fulton. I'm going to the federal building myself. I'll confront your husband.
Chauncey Gardner locked the door of the closet behind Sarah Fulton, then left the house. Inside the closet, the woman merely reached to a hook at the side of the door and removed the key that was left there for emergencies, as in every closet in the house. She opened the door and stepped into the den again, heading for the telephone. Then she called a number in the city.
Metropolitan 98362, please. Hello, comrade. This is Sarah Fulton. I know I'm not supposed to, but this is terribly important. Now listen to me, please.
Quickly, the woman told what had happened. She pleaded that someone try to intercept Chauncey Gardner before he reached the Federal Building, where her husband was telling his fabricated story. The comrade at the other end of the wire outlined a plan, and Sarah beamed.
And he'll be in front of the Federal Building? Good. Just be sure it's a comrade who knows Gardner, and tell him to be careful.
Chauncey Gardner parked his car in front of the Federal Building and started across the sidewalk. But a dark, hulking man stood in front of him.
Turn around, Mr. Gardner.
What?
We'll go for a little walk together.
What are you doing?
That lump in my pocket against your side is a gun. Unless you do as I say, I shall use it on you.
Why?
Now, don't look around for help. It is no use. Just do as I have told you.
All right.
I have a car parked in an alley around the corner. We'll go to it. Come, walk with me.
Chauncey Gardner was living in another nightmare. But once more, his mind was active. On the corner was the Sentinel building, and his friend Britt Reed was there. He knew, too, that there would be special policemen on duty somewhere in the lobby. As they reached the building entrance, Gardner turned suddenly and pushed his captor. The man, taken by surprise, was thrown off balance. He staggered backwards, tripped over the curbing, and sprawled heavily onto the street. Meanwhile, Gardner ran into the lobby. There was no special policeman in sight, and the elevators were at the far end of the lobby. Just inside the entrance was a stairway, and Gardner, panicky and seeking immediate refuge, started up the stairs towards the second floor, shouting as he ran.
Help! Police! Help! Police!
Seconds later, the dark man rushed into the lobby from the street, brandishing his pistol.
Up my way.
He pushed aside the startled onlookers, and seeing Gardner disappear through the doorway on the second floor, the man started after him. In Britt Reed's office, Lenore Case, the young publisher's secretary, was answering the telephone.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Reed should be back any minute. I'll have him call you when he arrives. Certainly. Goodbye.
Hide me someplace. Call the police.
Mr. Gardner, what's wrong?
Wait till I lock this door. Miss Case, I'm not going mad, but a man is trying to kill me. My life is in danger, but it's more than that. So is the security of this country. Telephone the police or the Federal Bureau.
Oh, my goodness. Operator, get the guards up here. Call the police. Tell them that I know you are in there. You cannot keep me out. Are you calling the guards, operator? Hurry, please. Mr. Gardner, go into Mr. Reed's office, please.
All right, Miss Case.
Where is he? Where? I see him.
Keep out of there. Don't go into that office.
You cannot get away, Mr. Gardner. I got you.
Oh, you shot him. Stop it! Don't shoot again!
The gunman ran into the corridor just as policemen summoned from the lobby came running towards Reed's office with drawn guns. The gunman saw them and began to fire.
You'll not take me. I kill you all.
But the police fired at the same moment, and the gunman dropped to the floor, dead. Inside the office, Lenore Case knelt beside Chauncey Gardner. The scientist, gasping, tried to speak.
Fulton did this. Fulton is spy.
Mr. Gardner, try to get... Oh, dead.
Miss Case, where are you? Hey, this way, men. Over here.
Hey, grab her. She's passing out.
Right.
Lenore Case was able to gasp her story to Britt Reed. She finished at the moment that federal security agent Joseph Baldwin entered, accompanied by Reed's close friend, Police Commissioner Higgins. Higgins spoke first.
I'm sorry, Reed. I hurried here as soon as I received the news.
Thanks, Commissioner. Mr. Baldwin, this is a great blow to the government, isn't it?
Gardner's dead? Yes. Almost as good as the one we received a little more than an hour ago. When a man almost as famous as your friend Chauncey Gardner came to my office and reported to me that Gardner was a spy.
A spy? Whoever said that was a liar.
Well, that may be. We have to investigate. But another trusted scientist, Charles Dempster, killed himself last night. We've already learned that he gave information to our potential enemy.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's true. He was definitely mixed up in a commie spy ring. We found proof of that this morning. But before Dempster died, he called Fulton on the phone and told him certain things which we're checking on. Most important was that he was only one of a spy ring working on the government's newest project, and that Gardner was head of that ring. Dempster told Fulton that Gardner already had complete information about the project and had passed it on to... Well, you guess who?
I don't believe a word of it. Either Dempster lied...
That'll be hard to prove now.
...or Fulton's all mixed up. Mr. Baldwin, you're surely not going to accept his story.
We accept nothing but proof, Reed. Indisputable proof.
Pardon me while I answer this. Reed speaking. Why, yes, he's right here. Commissioner, for you.
Oh, thanks, Reed. Yes? No, you did, huh? Well, let's have it. Mm-hmm. Go on. Right. Thanks, Doyle. Yes, I'll be here. Goodbye. Well, gentlemen, you may be sure of one thing. There's definitely a communist angle to Gardner's death.
Yes? What?
It's a fact. That was the fingerprint bureau. When homicide men arrived here, they immediately took a set of fingerprints of the man who killed Gardner. They made a quick check of them at headquarters. The prints belonged to one Boris Angola, an old hand in local Red Goon activities.
That looks bad for Gardner, Reed.
Mr. Baldwin, before you try to reach definite conclusions, suppose you hear what Miss Case has to say. Perhaps you'll get a different slant on things when you do.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. Gals, fellas, hello. And how about an orange crush? Wouldn't it taste delicious just at this moment? That cool, tangy, refreshing flavor. So good because it comes from real oranges. Fresh, tree-ripened California oranges. I bet Mother's got an orange crush waiting for you in the refrigerator right now. Well, let's go and see. And if she hasn't, I'm sure she would have if she'd thought about it. So why not remind her? Tell her you like Orange Crush. And you can tell her it's good for you, too. Yes, sirree, Orange Crush is not only deliciously refreshing, it's real good for you. When it comes to Orange Crush, you can drink all you want. You see, there's nothing artificial about it. No artificial flavoring, no artificial coloring. That delightful fresh fruit flavor is nature's own. So remind Mother to get a 6-bottle handy pack next time she's shopping or ordering from the grocers. And say, always, any time you're feeling thirsty, be sure to ask for Orange Crush. You'll recognize it because it comes in that famous crinkly brown bottle, the sunproof bottle that keeps sunlight out and flavor in. Get Orange Crush. Remember, there's nothing else quite as good. No other drink has the same refreshing, fresh fruit flavor. So wherever you are, ask for Orange Crush. ORANGECRUSH. Orange Crush. Now back to the Green Hornet. Miss Case, still visibly upset, was nevertheless able to recount the harrowing moments before Chauncey Gardner's death. She concluded,
And just before he died, he gasped these words, as well as I remember. He said, Fulton did this. Then he repeated, Fulton is a spy. He died then.
well, Mr. Baldwin, what do you think now?
I think it might be a good idea to check further into Fulton's story. Commissioner, you may be able to help me.
Tell me how, and I'll do it.
Gardner's murder is under your jurisdiction. Why not have one of your homicide men question Fulton about his knowledge of Gardner? You know the usual questions. Have him say nothing about the spy angle and pretend the police don't know one exists. See what Fulton says then.
I'll do that, Mr. Baldwin. In view of what you've told me, I'd like to do the questioning myself.
Well, that's even better. You might take Reed along with you, Commissioner, in view of his interest in the matter.
I'll be glad to go, Mr. Baldwin. Glad and very interested in what I expect to hear.
Joseph Baldwin left, the police cleared out the office, and Michael Axford took the still ailing Lenore Case to her home. Britt Reed closed his private office door and spoke to Commissioner Higgins, who waited for him.
Commissioner, nothing in the world will make me believe that Gardner was a traitor to his country, and certainly not a spy.
I have faith in your judgment and hunches, Reed. I hope that time and evidence prove you're right.
In a case of this kind, time isn't going to be a factor. Not future time, as far as I'm concerned. The present is all that matters.
Well, let's get out to the Fulton home, then.
Oh, wait, please, just a few minutes. I'll go in your car, Commissioner. But I'd like Cato to drive a certain car of mine out to Fulton's as soon as it becomes dark.
A certain car of... Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Commissioner Higgins was one of the few persons who knew that Britt Reed was the Green Hornet, and so he considered Reed's present words as significant.
I'll tell Cato to get out there at a definite time while we're with the Fultons. Might even be advisable to have Axford along, if you don't mind. He may be helpful.
Then we'll ask him along by all means.
Now, here's my thought. We'll lead the conversation around to the Green Hornet.
Reed outlined his nebulous plan, and Higgins doubtfully approved it and consented to aid. Then the young publisher called his valet, Cato, on the telephone. Cato, Reed's confidant, had been the first to know that Reed was the Green Hornet, and he shared in many of the Green Hornet's exploits. He answered the telephone.
Reed residence? Oh, it's you, Mr. Britt. Will you come home to dinner? Nearly time. Oh, I see. Oh, yes, I listen. You tell me what to do and where to go. I listen hard now. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, sure, I do that. Just like you say. Oh, throw stone through front window. Get away in big hurry, you bet. You write note for me to put on stone? Okay. I go by office first and pick up note. Then get Black Beauty. Oh, we do this good, huh? Oh, goodbye, Mr. Prince.
Leonard Fulton and his wife Sarah were surprised when, as they were finishing dinner, the door chime was heard, and three men entered after Leonard Fulton opened the door. Introductions were made, greetings exchanged, and Fulton cordially invited Reed, Higgins, and Axford to the living room where his wife joined them. Reed maneuvered himself to a chair near the French windows. Leonard Fulton, affecting a smile, studied the men with slit eyes before talking. Then he spoke.
I suppose you gentlemen have come to ask me about my once very good friend, Chauncey Gardner.
Yes, we have, Mr. Fulton.
I thought so.
Poor Chauncey. Who would want to kill that sweet little man?
Well, that's the question a great many people are asking. You have no idea, Mr. Fulton?
Me? Why, no. Should I? I mean, well, have you discussed a theory with anyone else?
Well, our homicide detectives, naturally.
You haven't spoken with anyone in, say, the Federal Building?
No, I haven't been in the Federal Building in a long time.
You see, Leonard?
You haven't heard Mr. Gardner's name used in relation to the Green Hornet, have you?
The Green Hornet? Reed, you didn't tell me that. You mean the Green Hornet killed him? But he couldn't have, because the one who killed him was a commie.
Axford, I'm talking to Mr. Fulton. According to my story, they might have been mixed up in a spy ring. Gardner and Charles Dempster and,
And who? Who else, Mr. Reed?
Quiet. There's someone else you've heard about, Mr. Reed?
Uh-huh. Reed is being indiscreet, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner. You handle this.
Hey, do you hear that?
Hear what?
That car outside, near here. I'd know the sound of that car anywhere in the world. It belongs to the Green Hornet.
Green Hornet?
It is, I tell you.
What's that?
Hey, what's that? Look on the floor. It's a rock with a note tied to it. He threw it, he did.
I'll get it.
Fulton, white-faced, opened the note and read it by the light of a floor lamp.
Let me see.
His wife stood behind him, reading also. Reed whispered to Commissioner Higgins.
Cato was right on time when he threw that rock. Our plan may work. Let's get out of here quickly and go through with the rest of it.
Hey, the Green Hornet's getting away.
Well, we'll go after him, Axford. Come on. Coming, Reed? Right. I'm sorry, Mr. Fulton. Hold on to that note. We're going after the Green Hornet.
Higgins ran from the room into the hall and through the front door. Axford sprinted along with him. Reed allowed an interval to pass before he took after them. While Fulton finished reading the note, neither he nor his wife saw the figure that melted into the shadows outside the French window. Britt Reed had not followed Higgins and Axford. While the commissioner, as arranged with Reed, led Axford far from the house, Reed crossed in front of it to hide in the spot where he now listened. Inside, Fulton showed his wife the note.
Sarah, this is the Green Hornet seal, and this note is fantastic in its information.
You mean he knows what you've been doing?
He hints that he does, and judging by what he actually knows... Sarah, first he says I overplayed my hand by being at the Federal Building with Mr. Baldwin when Boris Angola shot Gardner.
But, Leonard, you said Mr. Baldwin promised to keep your visit a secret.
He said he would for security reasons. You heard Higgins and Reed just now. Neither of them knew I talked to Baldwin, but the Green Hornet knows. He even seems to know the story I told Baldwin.
Perhaps if Chauncey was his friend, Chauncey called him after escaping from here. He knew how you were going to try and involve him in your place.
That may be the answer. I left the note of confession Dempster sent to Chauncey in the safe with the papers. I'd better get rid of that, too.
How about those papers, Leonard? I called headquarters and told them to send a courier for them late tonight.
No, we can't chance that. Higgins and the other two may return here. If they do, they'll probably ask all kinds of questions about the Green Hornet's note to me, and I'll let them. If they do, the note, Dempster's letter, the papers, and everything else will be gone.
Leonard, what are you going to do?
I'll take everything out of the safe now while you call headquarters.
What shall I tell them, Don?
Say that you'll be at the post road in Burger's Lane in exactly 1 hour, and that you'll pass over everything in our possession. Say it's absolutely necessary for our protection.
All right, Leonard. But why have me meet?
I'll stay here in the house to see if Higgins or the police return, or if the Green Hornet pays us another visit. I'll tell Higgins you're indisposed and have retired. But let me handle that. We must hurry before they return. Get on that telephone at once.
Yes, darling. Operator, let me have Metropolitan 98362, please. Thank you. Hello, comrade?
Britt Reed had carried in his outer coat pocket one of the plastic raincoats that folded into a compact package of only a few cubic inches. He unfolded the coat and donned it to cover the clothes that might have identified him. Then he removed the mask of the Green Hornet from an inner pocket and placed this over his face. He could see and hear Sarah Fulton, less than 6 feet away, with her back to the window, talking into the telephone. He stepped quickly inside the window and hid behind the drapes.
And I'll be in the black sedan. Goodbye, comrade.
Sarah Fulton laid the telephone upon the table and turned. She frowned and walked toward the partly open French windows.
Didn't realize the windows were open that wide.
She reached to close the windows, and at that moment the Green Hornet stepped from behind the drapes.
Oh.
Before the startled woman could yell, his gas gun went off in her face. She fell to the floor unconscious.
That's the least I could do for you, comrade. Now to tie you up and get after the real villain.
Leonard Fulton, with his briefcase crammed, left his den and walked back to the room where he had left his wife, less than 10 minutes previously.
They haven't returned, have they, Sarah? Did you telephone them? Sarah, where are you? Sarah, what's happened to you? Sarah, darling, what? She's bound and gagged. Who did it? There must be someone here. There must be... Green Hornet. Don't shoot that gun. Stop.
How cold. I'd like to have told you what I think of you, Fulton. I couldn't let you hear my voice. How to tie you and look through these papers before I telephone federal authorities.
A short time later, Commissioner Higgins and Axford returned to the grounds of the Fulton home after a fruitless pursuit of the Green Hornet. They saw Britt Reed emerge from a clump of bushes nearby.
Hey, Commissioner, get your gun. Look at that fella coming out. Oh, it's Reed. Reed, what happened to you?
Well, you took off before I could catch up with you. I've been roaming all over since then.
Well, we were roaming too, but we didn't get that Hornet gazebo.
That car we heard got away, Reed. Shall we go back to the Fulton house now? Or is it too late?
I don't think it's too late, Commissioner. As a matter of fact, I think this will be the perfect time to return there.
The front door of the house was open, and Axford was the first to see the two bodies bound and gagged on the floor.
Hey, what the...
Higgins disregarded the man and woman. He went to the chair where a briefcase lay conspicuously, topped by a note. Higgins read it quickly.
Oh, Axford, don't untie those two. Leave them there until the federal agents and the police get here.
Huh? What do you mean, don't untie them?
This note says they're spies and traitors, and that the proof is in this briefcase.
Well, what do you know?
It says they tried to frame Chauncey Gardner for the crimes Leonard Fulton committed, and that Mrs. Fulton was the cause of Gardner's death.
Now, who'd ever thought of a thing like that?
It gives a telephone number for the federal authorities to trace. Spy headquarters, this note says.
Can you imagine that?
It also says a spy courier will be at the post road. There the car's pulling up outside.
I think they belong to... Yes. There's Mr. Baldwin getting out. The police are with him.
Wonderful work, Reed. And so fast.
Let me look at that note. I see something there. Please, Commissioner, let me see. My, look at who wrote the note, Reed. Do you see? You don't even care. But I'll tell you who wrote it. It was the Green Hornet. Sentinel extra paper, firing broken, husband and wife indicted. Read all about it. Secret plans recovered. Green Hornet escaped. Sentinel extra paper.
That's the Green Hornet story for today. Another exciting story brought to you by the most refreshing drink in the world. The drink that's actually good for you because it's made with real oranges. The one and only Orange Crush. It sparkles, it tingles. It makes you feel fresh again. Always keep several bottles in your refrigerator. And always remember, the handy way to do that is to get the handy pack. 6 bottles of Orange Crush in a handy carrying case. This program is a feature of the Green Hornet Incorporated, created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Charles D. Livingston, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of the Green Hornet is played by Jack McCarthy. This copyrighted feature originates in Detroit, and all characters, places, and incidents used are fictitious. The Green Hornet is brought to you every Wednesday and Friday at this same time by the most refreshing drink in the world, Orange Crush. That's the drink you like best of all. Try it. Next time, ask for Orange Crush. But remember, don't say orange, say Orange Crush. OrangeCrush. Orange Crush. Next Friday, listen to the Green Hornet again in the story of danger entitled Changing Alibi. And now, till Friday, this is Fred Foy saying so long from Orange Crush. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Presenting Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman! And now, Superman. Events on the main line of the West Coast Railroad are rapidly reaching a climax. Beating west, the Silver Clipper roars up the slope of the Rockies heading for San Joaquin Pass. Disaster, sudden and unseen, lies waiting for it in Schooner Canyon Lake. While Superman wings his way through space, searching desperately for the nearest mountain town. He finds it, drops down from the sky, and enters the office of the local chief of police in his character of Clark Kent, reporter. Listen.
Well, you talk good, I'll say that for you, Kent.
Well, if you don't believe me, telephone my paper and ask for verification. Or call the division superintendent of the West Coast Railroad at Denver.
The Silver Clipper's a West Coast train, isn't it?
Well, it is now, but it won't be long. I tell you, if something isn't done in a hurry...
Well, okay, but how are you going to prove it? Suppose I get up there to the San Joaquin and pull in a couple of guys. Why, how am I going to prove anything?
Well, I'll attend to that. You know the Circle Y Ranch?
Sure. What about it?
A couple of injured trainmen crawled in there a while ago. They were on that missing locomotive and tender.
They were, huh? Wait, you don't mean it.
I certainly do mean it. If you get those 2 men I told you about, the one who calls himself the Wolf and his henchman Kino, the mystery is solved.
Well, say, you begin to make sense, young fella. By golly, I'll do it. What's your plan?
Get a fast car and head for the crossing at San Joaquin.
Yeah?
You know the old Schooner Canyon Junction?
Well, I reckon I can find it, even in the dark.
All right, get up there and hide. If we don't catch them red-handed, it's no good. That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, Kent. Say, that is your name, ain't it? But, hey, where are you going?
I want to call my paper back east. Tell them to hold the presses for a big break. I'll pay for the call. Operator. I want Perry White, managing editor of the Daily Planet. Yes. Rush it, please. I'll hold the line.
Hello, White speaking.
Mr. White, this is Clark Kent.
Kent, good Lord, man, I thought you were dead. Where have you been all day?
Tied up in a cellar, but I broke out. Listen, Mr. White, how long before you go to press?
Now, wait a minute. Why, I'm going to press right now.
Well, hold it, will you?
Stop the press? It better be good, Kent.
Oh, don't worry, it will be. The big break on the Western Railroad story.
Kent, are you kidding?
You know the warnings on the Silver Clipper? It's coming off tonight.
Where are you now?
In a police station in a little town on the main line.
What's going to happen?
I don't know, Mr. White, but I know this much. It won't be long. I've got to go now. Will you hold the presses?
Okay, Kent.
You won't regret it. I'll call you the minute I have something.
Kent, wait. What's all this about a mysterious flying figure? Something called Superman.
Oh, forget it, Mr. White.
Somebody's pipe dream, huh? There's been a lot of talk.
Well, forget it. I'm in a position to know. So long, Mr. White.
Good luck, Kent. I'll be waiting. Hey, stop the press. Replay coming. Top column on the Western Railroad. Get a rewrite back.
Superman, eh? I should say I am in a position to know. Hup. Not much time with the wolf waiting there at the canyon. If I don't get back in time to fix that switch, 40 miles more. Faster.
Listen, boss. Let's get out of this tunnel. I don't like it. Not too long to wait now. What's the time, Kino? 5 minutes more. She's on time. She was on time at Creedville. Come on, boss. Let's beat it. A very sound idea, Kino. In 5 minutes or something less, this tunnel will be a most unhealthy place. What do you think will happen? Something resembling the end of the world, Kino. Screaming brakes, rending steel, billows of steam. Yes, decidedly we should move, my friend. Come. Where to? Down to the tracks where we can observe the switch. Close to the scene of action, but not too close. Listen, are you sure they can't stop in time? Downhill at 90 miles an hour? Impossible, Kino. What if she leaves the rails at the switch? What if she can't take the curve? A chance, but not likely. Come on, man. Get moving. Hey, someone's coming.
Hey, boss, you better be getting out of there. She's whistling for the highway.
Quick, Kino. Minutes count now.
There's the train. Traveling fast, all right. Ah, there's the junction. Got a minute, maybe less. Now then, what have those devils done to the tracks? Broken the seals and thrown the switch, eh? Well, it won't take long to fix that. And I'll just rip up a few of the old branch line rails. Just to be sure. There, that ought to settle things. Well, look who's coming.
Hey, boss. Who's that guy down by the switch? Look, he's tearing up the track. Well, what are you doing? Where's your gun? Shoot. Don't worry, boss. I'll get him. I never missed yet. Got him, boss. No, you didn't. There he is. You missed him, you fool. Never mind, boss. I won't miss him this time. Hey, you. Kino, what's the matter with you? All right, then, rush him. The train. Here comes the train. Get that man away from there, Kino. Boss, beat it. It's him. I see him now. It's the man with the red cape. The train. Run, Kino, run. Make for the car.
Made it. Threw the switch just in time. Go on, Silver Clipper. High ball for Salt Lake City in the west. Now then, after those lads in the car. Watch it, you two. Here I come.
I tell you, it was him. The guy in the red cape, the Superman. Shut up, Kino. Whoever it was, I'll settle with him. He threw the switch back and saved the train. Faster, boss, faster. Get away from here. Keep your head, Kino. There's something about this I don't understand. Boss, look out! He's right behind us. He's over our heads. Look. What is that thing? He's down there in the road ahead. He's standing there. Look out! We're going to crash!
Sorry to disturb you, gentlemen. Don't try to get away.
Why, you put me down. Let me go.
In one moment. Just now, while I hold both of you with one hand, I've got something else to do. That car, for instance. You won't need it again. Where you're going, got to make this accident look convincing.
Look what he's doing to the car, boss. He's wrecking it.
There. No one will ever ride in that again. Hello. Here comes a car. Heard the crash. Must be the police. Well, so long, gentlemen. I'm leaving you now, and if you ever wreck another train or try to, think what you've missed this time. Goodbye.
Hey, here's where that crash was. There's a couple of guys lying on the road. Hey, grab them, boys. I wouldn't wonder if they were the fellas that newspaper man was talking about. They tried to make a getaway and cracked up. Well, look where their car got to.
Man alive, looks like a cyclone hit it.
Yes, doesn't it? Or that Superman they keep talking about. Good evening, Chief.
Say, there you are. Why, it's the reporter. Well, howdy, Mr. Kent.
Well, I see you got them all right.
Yes, but there wasn't no train wreck. I guess we scared them off.
Keep them off. Keep them off. We done it. Put me in jail. Put me anywhere. But don't let that guy touch me again. He just came flying through the air.
Say, he's nuts. Off his head. But that was a confession if I ever heard one.
Yes. And if you'll drag the bottom of Schooner Canyon Lake, you'll find that missing engine and tender.
What?
And don't forget those 2 trainmen at the Circle Y Ranch. They'll be your star witnesses. Well, congratulations, Chief. You've caught the train wreckers all right.
And thanks to you, Mr. Kent. Well, hey, where are you going?
I've got to get back to town. My paper's waiting for the story. See you later, Chief.
Well, Kent, come on in. Well, it's fine to see you back. You've certainly made good in a big way.
Thanks, Mr. White.
And to show you what I think of you, I'm going to start you right out on another assignment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's the best news I could possibly hear.
Now, wait till you do hear it, my boy. There are 1 or 2 things I want to ask you about first.
Yes, sir?
I know it sounds foolish, but all these rumors about the mysterious flying figure clad in a red cape and all that, you know anything about this, Superman?
Do I know anything about this Superman? Why, Chief, what a silly question.
All right, let it go. Now, I want to talk to you about your next assignment. Just pull up your chair.
Yes, sir.
Oh, confound it, I told them not to disturb me. Steady, Rome. White.
You've caught the wolf, my friend, for all the good it'll do you. The wolf has a master, and the master speaks to you now.
Here, what the... Say, who is this? Kent, get over here.
My compliments, Mr. Kent, on your first and last performance.
What's he mean?
You and your newspaper have interfered with my plans. Very well, my friend. In exactly 24 hours at this time tomorrow, you and your newspaper will be blown to 1,000 fragments. This is the Yellow Mask. Goodbye.
Hey, you! Wait! Come back here! Operator, who was that man? Find him and trace him! Find him!
Whose was the eerie voice calling Editor White on the phone? Who or what is the Yellow Mask? And can Clark Kent, without revealing his identity as Superman, solve the mystery in the newspaper office? Terrible, deadly danger threatens the Daily Planet. Superman has 24 hours' time. Tune in and follow the story. Now, don't forget, next time, the beginning of Superman's latest adventure. Tune in and don't miss it.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane!
It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Superman!
And now, Superman. Amazing figure from another world with powers and abilities never before realized by mortal men. When we last saw Superman, in his disguise as young Clark Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet, he and his editor, Perry White, had just received a warning telephone message from a mysterious voice, which identified itself as the Yellow Mask. In exactly 24 hours, said the mask, the Daily Planet would be blown to 1,000 fragments. Horror-stricken, Kent and his chief stared at each other in the humming office. Then pandemonium. Sirens wailed in the streets. Police searched the building for bombs. Today, as our story opens, we find ourselves far from the doomed offices of the Daily Planet. Dr. Sven Dahlgren shows an unexpected visitor about his laboratory, explaining its wonders, and also explaining his latest invention. Listen.
Please do not touch that window frame.
So? It is not clean, perhaps. It looks clean.
Oh, yes, quite clean, but it is wired. It carries a powerful electric charge.
Most interesting. Are you also experimenting in electricity, Dr. Dahlgren?
You have come to see my latest discovery, have you not, Professor Schmidt?
Indeed.
And so have others. You are not the first. Others would not only like to see it, but gain possession of it.
No, I cannot believe it.
Oh, it's quite true, I assure you. For weeks past, ever since word got out of what I was doing, I've been annoyed, even threatened.
Threatened, Dr. Dahlgren? By whom?
I don't know. Queer voices over the telephone, mysterious visitors in the dead of night. Yes, that is why I had the laboratory wired.
But what do they want?
They want my invention. They realize that whoever owns it controls a practically unlimited power.
Unlimited power? Is that true?
Certainly, Professor Schmidt. Unlimited power for destruction. Which is why I'm determined to keep the discovery a closely guarded secret. In the world today, my friend, there is destruction enough. Men are at one another's throats like dogs gone mad. No, I will never be a party to war and bloodshed. Ah, but come, I waste time. Into this room. Professor, don't brush against the metalwork. There it is, on the table, Professor.
That is the machine. So small.
My latest development. Small, light, compact, but deadly. Now then, please stand exactly where you are. Watch closely what happens to that glass on the edge of the table. Watch.
It's amazing. The glass was shattered.
Now, watch that small steel ball.
Why, it's gone.
Vanished. Blown into atomic dust.
Then it's true. I didn't believe, but it's true.
Certainly it's true. Based on the power of atomic force. Everything in the universe has a certain vibration point, Professor Schmidt. My machine focuses a beam of vibrating infragamma rays wherever I choose to direct it.
And then?
Any object in the path of the beam begins to vibrate. At a certain point, depending on the object, atomic force is overcome, and the object simply disappears. Explodes, if you like, into nothing.
Doctor, you say any object?
Any object whatsoever, at distances up to a mile.
Unbelievable, my dear doctor. Let me be the first to congratulate you.
Thank you, thank you.
You have done me a great service, doctor. You have placed in my hands an instrument of destruction that will at last give me what I have been seeking. Absolute control of the world and every living thing in it.
What? What do you mean?
You have been horribly misled, Dr. Dahlgren. I am not Professor Schmidt of Hawthorne University. Mere men who work under me know me by quite another name. I am destined to become supreme ruler of the universe, and with this deadly machine.
Get out of my laboratory! Get out before I...
You won't do anything, Doctor. Not if you value your life. This gun I hold in my hand is fully loaded. Take care.
You're mad, utterly mad. How far do you think you'll get with that machine? The police will...
Beyond the reach of the police, I assure you. I have laid my plans with great care, Doctor. First, I shall destroy the building which houses one of your great newspapers, because a reporter on that paper foiled my plans in the West and succeeded in jailing 2 of my men. When that is done, I will go about the task of creating for myself the position I rightfully deserve. Emperor of the world. And now I must go.
Put that machine down! Put it down, I tell you! Michael, stop him!
No. No living thing can stop me now. Goodbye, Doctor.
Don't let him get away! Michael!
Doctor, what's happened?
Catch him, Michael, catch him!
Doctor, what's the matter? You're pale.
He got away with the atomic beam, Michael. You know what this means? That lunatic, he has in his hands the power of life and death. He is a walking symbol of death.
Where is Clark Kent? The minute he gets back, send him in.
Here I am, Mr. White.
Oh, Kent, where have you been?
Down in the cellar helping the police.
Turn up anything? Any sign of a bomb?
Not a thing, Mr. White. We combed the building from top to bottom. Anything turn up here?
Not so far. What's the time?
It's 4 o'clock. If that fellow really meant business, we've only got about 2 hours to go.
Call in your office, Mr. White.
Oh, thanks, Lois. Oh, by the way, Kent, I don't think you know Miss Lane. Lois, this is Clark Kent.
Oh, how do you do?
You wait here till I get back, Kent. I won't be a minute.
Oh, the boy wonder, huh?
Why, Miss Lane, what do you mean?
They tell me you talked yourself into a job, went out west, and came back with the biggest story of the month, all in less than a week.
Well, I guess I was pretty lucky.
I'll say you were lucky. Are you the white-haired boy, eh?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
Got the old man hypnotized. He thinks you're Horace Greeley.
I'm afraid I don't...
Oh, don't act so dumb. All this nonsense about a time bomb in the cellar. What's the big idea?
Miss Lane, I only wish I knew.
You mean to tell me you didn't make it up out of your head?
I certainly did not.
I don't believe it. Well, now what's the matter?
Listen. Don't you hear something?
Oh, I hear the presses in the basement.
No, outside. Pardon me a minute. Come to the window. Now, don't you hear anything?
What do you think you hear?
A plane. There's a plane out there, flying low.
Well, I'll be... Now, look, Mr. Kent, this is a big town. You'll find quite a few planes flying around here all day and all night. If it bothers you, you better go back to the farm.
No, really, I
Yes,
mean it.
really, I mean it, too. Tell the old man about your big discovery. Here he comes now.
Well, anything new?
Yes, you're a star reporter. Heard a plane.
It was flying pretty low, Mr. White.
Well, what of it? Oh, I got a job for you, Lois.
Yeah, good job.
No. Go out and interview a scientist. Human interest stuff.
Who is he and where?
Dr. Sven Dahlgren. Got his own laboratory out on Haven Avenue. Look the number up in the book.
Who is he, Mr. White?
What's on his mind?
Leading American investigator in the field of atomic energy.
Must we...
Yeah, come on, get going, Lois. Get going. This paper's always been tied in with science. We've been after Dahlgren for a long time, and now he comes to us.
Why?
Well, he said somebody stole a new machine he invented. I couldn't make much sense out of it, but he seemed pretty worried. Wanted me to rush a story into print.
Oh, what's the matter with the police?
I suggested that, but he said he needed more than the police. Sounds cracked, but it may make a yarn. On your way, Garley.
All right, if you say so, Mr. White. I'll get right out there. So long, Mr. Star Reporter.
You come with me, Kent, into the office. I can't stand much more of this.
I know, Mr. White. It's nerve-wracking, this yellow mask business.
Worse than that. I don't know whether to believe it or not.
If we could only get a lead.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't give it a second thought. Just another crank. But I don't know, Kent. I swear I don't know. What's the time now?
5 after 4. Don't keep thinking about the time, Mr. White.
Confound it, what else can I think of? 2 hours more, and we may get blown to glory. What do you think?
About the yellow mask?
Can he do what he says?
Let's hope he can't, Mr. White.
But you're afraid he can. And the devil of it is, so am I. Now, if it hadn't been for that business out west...
Well, maybe you ought to empty the building.
No. You want us to be the laughingstock of the city? Suppose nothing happens.
On the other hand, suppose something does.
Well, they can't intimidate me. If the yellow mask means business, he'll find us right here at 6 o'clock. City room. White.
Mr. White, this is Dr. Dahlgren.
Yes, Dr. Dahlgren. One of our best people is on the way to your laboratory right this minute.
No, that is not why I call. I wanted to tell you.
Yes?
The man who stole my atomic beam machine mentioned a newspaper. He said...
Yes? What did he say?
Something about destroying a newspaper.
What's that again? Listen, Doctor! Hello, Dahlgren! Hello!
Yes, Mr. White.
I was cut off. Get me Dr. Dahlgren at his laboratory, quick.
Sorry, Mr. White. I'll call you.
We were cut off.
No, he was cut off. I'm sure of it.
You heard all that?
Mr. White, that scientist, what was he working on?
I don't know. Some kind of a gadget to release atomic force.
A machine?
I imagine so. Why?
Don't you see, Mr. White? There's our lead. The man who broke in and robbed him was the Yellow Mask.
Kent, I think you're right. Dahlgren just said the burglar mentioned destroying a newspaper.
Then I must be right. Now, look here. We've searched the building and haven't found a thing. No packages, no wires. If the Daily Planet is going to be blown up, it's got to be done outside. Maybe up above. That airplane.
Airplane?
It was flying too low for a transport. Mr. White, that plane was spying out the lay of the land. And at 6 o'clock with Dr. Dahlgren's machine, they'll come back again and...
Hello, Dahlgren?
I'm sorry, Mr. White. Dr. Dahlgren's telephone is out of order.
Kent, do you hear that? Dahlgren's line is dead.
Cut. That settles it, Chief. I'll be seeing you later.
Kent, where are you going?
After Miss Lane. Something's wrong at Dahlgren's. If it's the mask, well, there's not much time to stop him. So long.
Hey, kid, what's your hurry?
Yeah, got another front page scoop, Ken?
Oh, thank heaven. The locker room's empty. Quickly now. Out of these clothes. It's Superman's turn now. Oh, someone's coming. The window. Out. And up. Up. Not much time left. Got to find Miss Lane. Find out what's happened at Dahlgren's and stop the yellow mask. Higher we go. Higher. And faster. Faster. Faster.
Deadly peril hangs over the offices of the Daily Planet. Already the Yellow Mask is in possession of a mighty and terrible weapon. Time is growing short. But Superman is on the way. Powerful form streaking through the night sky, red cape whistling in the wind. Can he arrive in time? And what new unforeseen danger is already creeping in on the laboratory of Dr. Dahlgren, with Lois Lane about to enter, all unknowing? Tune in next time and follow the story. Remember, be with us again for the next startling transcribed installment of Superman.
Up in the sky. Look! It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.